central AC sustained damage, remember, you can choose the company you'd prefer to repair or replace it. You don't have to use the restoration company's referral. After all you've been through, you don't deserve to be pushed into something you don't want or need. So count on a business that's been helping homeowners for nearly 50 years. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
Sports 1440. Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Oiler Insider and Jersey Aficionado.
Balance. Gazzola takes the middle. Can't step back. Gets in. Wow. Ernie Clement is no more for his back. Shows off the glove right here, Jim.
60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream.
Poro. Elbow. Catch it, Poro! It's happening to Spain. Look at those wild eyes. The world is opening up for this glittering Spanish cohort, the Pedro Porro, the moment of his professional life.
It's all gas, no brakes.
Oh, God. Slowly destroyed by Miguel Vargas. Into the second match.
Presented by 365 Alberta. We're here to stay.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Fire it up. A lovely Wednesday in the Big E. We did get that storm overnight to cool things off as we get ready for a hot one on what has been a lovely week around the city. It started to pick up in the sports world. We have a lot to discuss. As always, the Gazzola Show presented by Bet365. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta, and it's here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Tom, Brandon Douglas, and Josh Fenwick in studio with you. We want you to join the conversation. Of course, 1-833-401-1440. Maybe you're listening on iHeart, TuneIn, maybe the old AM dial. Whatever works best for you, we appreciate it. Watching on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. And then, of course, there's good old YouTube. Get into the chat over there. I see Zedmo already in there early. Says, on time, Tommy. Brand new man. Yeah, Zedmo. I'm kidding. It was not hard to get up. It's not hard to get up at this hour. The 7 a.m. is clutch. I really appreciate it. It's way easier than 6 a.m. That's just me. Big shout out to Kevin Carius. We had a wonderful time last night celebrating his career, meeting some of his friends. I know a lot of the people that were there yesterday, and great conversations. Good story time with KK's buddies from back in the day. KK telling his stories from back in the day, and a great opportunity to celebrate a great man and catch up with some old friends. So shout out and tip of the cap to everybody at On the Rocks and to Kevin Carius for, a wonderful career, laying the groundwork for this wonderful show. And then it's been great being here for now a week and a half, and off we go. On today's show, we will have David Schlemko, and I'm very excited about this, Brando. Very excited about this. I was a little worried last week, but
Schlemmer was excited too.
Okay, good.
He texted me yesterday afternoon. We just wanted to make sure he was, feeling better and ready to rock and roll. And yeah, his expression was very emphatic.
Okay.
Good for tomorrow, brother. Feels like it's been forever. It's only been a couple weeks because he missed, obviously, July 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going back to his last show with KK, funnily enough, before he hung him up. And we had a little shindig down at the mall here that night as well. It was all like I said yesterday,
Really?
Kevin just loves partying, so why not have several outings? And that was more of a celebration of some of our partners and sponsors and all that. It just so happened to coincide with the announcement that Kevin was hanging him up. So yeah, a lot of fun last night. I was a little bit worried about you and Josh when I left, and I hitched my wagon to the right horse where Connor Halley said he was willing to drive me, or we wanted to carpool or whatever.
Yeah.
So I met him back here at the mall at the end of the Gregor show, hopped in with him, and I was like, I'm leaving whenever Connor's going to leave. I know that's going to be pleasantly early because he's got to get home, look after the boy,
Mhm.
get things ready for the following day. So I was out of there at around 9-ish, just after, and it looked like you and Josh were tilting them back, enjoying yourselves. I was a little nervous this morning if you guys might no-show me.
Oh, we would never. We would never. Josh and I left at the same time. Josh was kind enough to offer a ride, but I walked home because I
Gotta
mean
get
it
the
was so
steps in.
nice. Yeah, it was very nice of you, Josh. Thank
Hey,
you.
well, it's nice to offer. You live
teammate.
downtown, so I was like, well, I can't be that far.
No, it's not. And you know what too? Like we got out of there about 9:30
Yeah, 9:30ish.
or so.
It was a good hour.
It was and the walk was like it was so warm and nice out that it was a good walk. Walk off the 3 beers I had, and away we went. Did a little show prep, and here we are today. Had a chance to catch up with. Well, Jack Michaels was back in town. You guys were chatting up, Jack.
Yeah, I went to high school with his daughter.
Right.
He even was like, there was like a farewell from the parents video at our grad, and he was in it.
Yep.
And so, but I'd never met him. I was like, hey, like I'm Josh. I went to Sal with your daughter, and he was like, oh no way. So like I heard what's going on with her, and everything, and yeah, so she got a job. She's crushing me. She's making a lot of American money.
Yeah, well, that's when you're dual. Well, American. I think they did get their citizenship. I'd have to double check, but I think she went to Penn State.
That she did.
Yeah,
Can confirm.
yeah. Jack probably had to pay a pretty penny for that, but I know Callie's smart girl, and then Tyler, his son, pretty damn good golfer. I think he's at U of A now, unless I've lost track of time, and he's also graduated. Then I'm really getting old, because I remember when they were like 5 and 7.
Hate to tell you, Tommy, I think you're old.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Brandon wouldn't say that to me, though, right?
No, never,
Yeah, thank you.
never.
Just,
I respect my elders.
Holy smokes. Well, I did like you. I'm just kidding.
We're off and running, Tom.
We're off and running. Keith Stewart will join us as we talk the Open from Read the Line. And then Spec, of course, at 8. And then yesterday was great with JT, but today we'll have Reed Clark stopping by, Edmonton City Councilor. Like I said, Schlemmer will be in around 9, and then Emma Lingen, who is based out of Nashville, covers the NHL and a little bit of MLB talk. I didn't know Emma did MLB, but she's kind of she does it all. She has a sports show. She's a writer. She's holding the Preds mic in the locker room. I'm assuming there's some kind of affiliation with the team at some point. And yeah, so she's going to join us around 9:20. We'll have In or Out, and then Zach Lang from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff will round out the day. And we can't forget Cam and Eggs. How was Tater doing yesterday? He was there.
On Wednesdays, Tater knows his usual spot for Cam and Eggs is at 8:40, right before Schlemmer gets in. He's there ponied up to the one table last night down at OTR, and he says, listen, I'm going to need 10:40 tomorrow, because he was tilting back a few pints. I think he got into a few margaritas. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's like, all right, time to head out. And waited for his ride to come pick him up, and he was gone. So I wonder if Tater might be sleeping in a little today to sleep off some of those margs. And as a result, we might not have Cam and Eggs until towards the end of the show. But I'll keep you updated, Tom. If he decided to call it a night early enough responsibly so that he could still hit his 8:40 slot today, all the power to him. But we'll be ready for him whenever he gets in.
Hey, he likes to fire it up too.
Oh, yes, he does.
Good to see Cam. Nancy Carlson, of course, from Global Edmonton and CBC. Great to see her. She was, I always pleasant chat with Nancy. And then my Uncle Gene and his wife Karen were there. Gene Principe, I think he just got back from Kananaskis, oddly enough. And we were talking last week. Kananaskis with Gary Meyer. See the tie-in there. The universe works in mysterious ways, boys. It really does. So that was good. And then who else did we catch up with? Well, Ryan Rashog was there. Good to see
It was a real who's who.
It was a little bit of a who's
Spec
who.
was there.
Spec in fine form.
Yeah, because as the crowd continued to like flow in, after like Connor and I were some of the first ones to arrive, funnily enough. And Gregor did the show on location down there yesterday.
Right.
And then it was like slowly, and it was like, oh, Schauger's here and Jack Michaels and all these. And then I was like, I wonder if Speck's going to be willing to get out of the cabin and make the trip in. I was like, I doubt it. He's pretty comfortable out there, but he did. I guess that just goes to show he likes Kevin.
Yes.
Or
everyone does.
Or he likes some cold pints amongst a pretty good crowd of people.
That's another thing that made it even sweeter.
Yeah.
It was really, really a awesome time. So Eddie Steele and Speck have a golf match today, I believe. Is that correct? Oh, him and KK. That's right. And we were talking about how will Eddie hold up against Kevin? Because we think the theory is it's going to be Chirp Central.
Yeah, Kevin knows how to rattle Eddie.
Yeah.
It's like every time I've ever played with the two of them, it's just the case. Kevin likes to get under his skin and push him to the brink. And as a result, Eddie 85 has disappeared into fleeting memory. Now it's more like Eddie 105.
No. That's
it was the last time I played with the two of them in our little match play against SKS. Kevin was my partner. And despite the fact he hit a hole-in-one on one hole, we still didn't win the hole.
He had a hole-in-one?
Yeah, Kevin did. Near the start of the season. It was when I was still golfing, so it was like in the early part of May. We went down to SKS's home track in Leduc, and yeah. It was Kevin's first ever hole-in-one.
That's amazing.
It was special. It's cool. First time I've ever been in person for one.
That I have not experienced one in person. I have been close to two of them where it has happened a few holes over. One was like a hole over at a golf tournament. Actually, it was a 1260 tournament. And the Godfather, as we called him, Troy, of all the par threes, he holed out on the one with the, let's just say, least desirable prize. I think he got a year's supply of bug spray and sunscreen. Compared to, I think there was a truck available. I believe there was not an RV, but like a camper or a trailer. There were some really good hole-in-one prizes. I think one was like $10,000 in cash at that tournament, and he got the year's supply of bug spray and sunblock. And he said, if I ever need any, let him know, because he still has cases of it in his garage. Love golf tournaments. They're great. A couple of texts have already come in. Keep firing those our way. 1-833-401-1440. Text line was buzzing nice yesterday. A wide variety of topics. People were really getting into like the foodie stuff and love the video game stuff. So, you know what? We spread it around. It's the off season. BC Oilers says that soccer game, guys, yesterday was boring as hell for the two top teams in a semifinal. I'll never understand how people can enjoy watching that sport on a regular basis. We'll have to talk a little bit about the World Cup because the other semifinal is today. Now, it was kind of a low event game, and Spain played really well. I was watching it. A little bit surprised that the French couldn't generate more offense. They had a couple of looks, but nothing too threatening, in my opinion. And it did end up being, like BC Oiler, said, a bit ho-hum. I don't know if you guys dialed in and watched it all, but it for two teams that had that kind of potential for explosive offense, it lacked. And BC Oiler is right, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's tough to disagree because you can talk about, there's so many small elements of the game that is sometimes lost on people like me that don't know it in depth in some of the finer points. But I mean, for France, you talk about, the inability to generate offense. I mean, like, goodness, like Mbappe missing, like he doesn't register a shot on target over the course of 90 plus minutes. So it's going to be tough to win. And I know he was your choice, Tom, for kind of an anytime goal scorer prop, if you will, here in the semifinals. And it was pretty disappointing, I thought, for him. And you got to give credit to the Spaniards, because my take going into it was that they haven't looked that spectacular and not as dominant as France has en route to the semifinal berth. But I think we kind of saw that maybe France hadn't really been tested to the same point that Spain had so far with, some of the closer calls or, higher caliber opponents to tune them up for these later tournament games. And yeah, France just kind of fell flat. It was disappointing. I'm hoping we get a little more excitement and drama in today's between England and Argentina, which on paper maybe should be the case because they're two not as overall good teams as France and Spain, but you still get the star power, obviously, with Kane and Messi, among others. So I'll be tuned in again, no doubt about it, but I definitely was a little disappointed with yesterday's match.
Maybe all the excitement that should have been in yesterday's match happens in this afternoon's
Yeah, it just
match.
spills over, doubles up.
Take it. Just take it. I kind of jokingly said I wouldn't mind, out of spite, just watching England lose because as they were compared to yesterday, the Toronto Maple Leafs potentially of international soccer, I think that was a bit harsh. That was from Lucas yesterday, wasn't it? He had that quote. But we'll see. If it's exciting and a little more wide open, I'll take it. And then just looking over at Bet365, what do we got? Who's the favorite in this one? Click into it. I have to get acclimated with Bet365 a little bit better here, boys. You said the app is easier to use. Yeah. No, I don't have to do that. But anyway, I think Argentina is the slight dog on this one, aren't they?
I would think so. And as I just confirmed that I'm fit to play, Josh is nodding his head. In fact, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the prices. Yeah. In stoppage time, England plus 170, Argentina plus 200.
That's the one.
So England slightly shorter and even more likely to maybe go into extra time. And that's at plus 187. So some good prices there. If you're a fan of it coming home, you're still getting a good little ticket on England to advance, to win.
They've had a strong support group downtown in Edmonton this entire World Cup. I can hear them in and around Ice District, if you know what I'm saying. Perhaps on a rooftop patio, if you know what I'm saying. And they fire it up, and I think they will be today. And it's going to be perfect weather for that as we cruise into a very fun Wednesday show here. We will get into the Open Championship, which is getting underway. I think it's at Birkdale this year. And to do that, we will be joined by Keith Stewart. All right. Good first segment. We're off and running. We reviewed yesterday's shenanigans with KK and a nice send-off for him, running into some old friends. And then we'll get her going. Oh, no. The Open gets going tomorrow. Boys, I'm ahead of I pulled a spec.
Thought it was Thursday.
I thought it was Thursday. I was like, yeah, it gets going today. But no, yesterday was just some practice round stuff. Guys talking about legacy, grim quotes from Rory and Scotty talking about like their death and like how they'll be remembered. I think at one point, Rory had a quote about, I'll be a ghost when any of this matters. It's like, whoa, these guys are young. They still have got runway left on their careers. Let's go, boys. So, yeah, we'll get into that with Keith Stewart from Read the Line. And, of course, your texts. This is the Gazzola Show presented by Bet365 right here on Sports 1440.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
Summer weekends in Alberta mean one thing. Tournament season.
I brought the folding chairs. I brought the sunscreen. I brought the umbrella, just in case.
But who brought the snacks to get through a doubleheader?
I got Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. The ultimate sideline fuel. Whether you're cheering on the kids or watching the pros, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$7:22. Happy Wednesday. It's the Tom Gazzola Show presented by Bet365. Join the conversation. 1-833-401-1440. Lots to discuss today. The Open gets going at Royal Birkdale tomorrow. Some interesting storylines going into this one. And to discuss, we bring in Keith Stewart from Read the Line, covering the PGA. We'll dive right into it. And Keith, first of all, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for hopping on today and getting us set for the Open. And listen, I was going through some things and I'm listening to Rory talk and I'm listening to Scotty talk, and they're talking about like their legacies and about when they die. All that matters is they don't really care, which is nice of them and kind of a testament to their personality and their characters. But I think Rory talked about, he's like, I'll be 6 feet under when he thinks about his legacy. I don't think I'll be a ghost haunting the Open, perhaps when he's passed on. But these guys have so much runway left in their careers. Like, what's up with the legacy talk? They've done a tremendous job and have been great golfers for a good chunk of time. But why are we looking so far ahead? I kind of got a chuckle out of that.
Hey, Tom, it's great to meet you and always be on live with 1440 in Edmonton and talk a little bit major championship golf, the fourth and final one of the year. And this legacy conversation is kind of funny. I mean, I think there's a couple things going on there. One, I think the media shows up too early. So if we're asking questions like that, we're digging deep into the jar. But the second thing is that these guys make so much money now. I don't think they're concerned about much of anything. They just want to go out, and if they win, if it's their week, they roll with it. But, similar to Scotty a year ago, he made all those, headlines by saying, 10 minutes after I win the Claret Jug, I'm on to the next thing. It's not changing my life, which is a far cry different than somebody like Tiger Woods or a Generation Xer like Phil or whatever winning. And it was like, such a big deal. And it led to a lot of legacy conversations.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is it just an indicator of the younger generations? I mean, Rory's not young by any means, and I know he's relatively young, but does that speak to maybe how those generations see things as a whole? And those two aren't the only ones who probably feel that way, because you're right, they have a plethora of other things available at the ready to them just because of how successful they are as golfers, and a lot of guys in the PGA are, because I mean, it can be very lucrative.
100%. I'll never forget this moment. Back in 2017, Justin Thomas wins his first PGA championship down at Quail Hollow. And as he's taking pictures with the Wanamaker trophy, some of his buddies come out and take pictures with him. And I remember Ricky Fowler in street clothes standing next to him, like while they're celebrating JT winning and beating Ricky Fowler. And as a Generation Xer myself, I was like, there's no way, there's no planet I could ever imagine anyone from my generation walking out with another player and taking pictures on the 18th green with the trophy. Like, the definition of success generation by generation, it just evolves. It just becomes different. It's no right or wrong. It's just, and now as you go even further, and surely Rory falls into that generation of millennials that, I think he just views the top of the mountain in a different way. I think he feels like there's maybe more room up there and he doesn't mind. Because at the end of the day, when it was Tiger, he plants the flag and it was like, I'm king. And then nowadays, there's just a little bit different sentiment, which is interesting. And at the same time, I think a good reflection on society.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's a fair point. Now, okay, but I'll counter that with this. Maybe there is some of that old school mentality in some, because, Nick Faldo, obviously, a legend himself, but Bryson DeChambeau was kind of somebody he was asked about, and he did not hold back on DeChambeau. And I'm sure if you gave DeChambeau a chance, he would retort back. But he was saying that he thinks DeChambeau might not make the cut. You just can't go out there and blast it in this tournament. He needs to work on his strategy. Were you surprised to hear that from Nick Faldo about Bryson DeChambeau? And how do you think DeChambeau reacts to something like that?
I think Bryson is hearing a lot of that commentary. I don't think Sir Nick Faldo is in the minority as far as Brandel Chambly and many of the pundits have been punishing Bryson for some of his choices on and off the golf course. None of them being morality challenging, but like at the same time, the idea. Okay, so it goes back to this legacy question: Does Bryson feel like being a YouTube golfer and growing the game through like millions of views through online streaming? Does he consider that as a major part of his legacy? Because other professional golfers don't, but he does. Coming into this week at Royal Birkdale, the two players I feel like that have the most pressure to put on themselves, one would be Bryson and the other one would be Jon Rahm. They've made some choices in the last couple of years to go to the exhibition league of Live Golf. And it just hasn't really, for Bryson, he's won a couple majors, but Jon Rahm hasn't played like a top 3 player in the world, which he was when he left to go to that league. So I think both of those guys, Bryson missing 3 cuts in a row this year, going for the clean sweep of no weekends and majors, and Jon Rahm not really performing and or winning a major championship in the last 2 or 3 years. I think those guys have a lot of pressure on them, and a lot of people are just jumping on the bandwagon. It's easy to pick on Bryson right now because he hasn't made many cuts. Now, go back to Royal Portrush, and I would be one of the first people to say that Royal Birkdale or any Open Championship doesn't really fit Bryson's game. It kind of mitigates his superpower, which is, his T-ball. But last year he had an awful first round at Royal Portrush, and then he came back and he finished top 10. So, Bryson can surprise us from time to time, but from the outside looking in, watching the range this week, it seems to be like he's in the lab more than he's out there, thinking about his performance.
Hey, Keith, did I see him with a coat hanger from the hotel or whatever Airbnb or nice home he rented around?
That was actually the hottest golfer on the planet, Wyndham Clark, your U.S. Open champion.
Okay.
And it's funny, I have a background as a PGA professional before I started Read the Line and I started handicapping the men and women of professional golf on the PGA Tour and the LPGA Tour. I've used that coat hanger drill many, many times. In fact, it's been built into a training aid by a couple different companies. And what happens is that if you grip the club with the coat hanger and you keep it against your lead forearm, which as a right-handed golfer, it's my left one, and you keep it in position as you go up to the top, then you won't cup your wrist or you won't bow it. So it keeps it kind of flat, which keeps it in relationship to the club face. So it's a very common, kind of practice drill that a lot of players should do. And you can see that the best in the world, the simpler you see a lot of guys with training aids these days out on the range. They're probably like part owners in it and everything. But hey, it is what it is. The coat hanger is pretty funny, and it's actually a really good training aid.
In all my years of watching golf, that's the first time I saw. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But hey, if it works, that's all that matters. Keith Stewart from Read the Line is our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing, talking about the Open, getting going tomorrow, Royal Birkdale. Some other storylines, and this, speaking of John Rahm, he kind of talked about this and dipped in on it. Player conduct has become a thing now, and especially at the majors, and I think they put out their policy on player conduct. Is it guys are blowing up too much now, speaking of younger generations, and kind of not living up to the standards of etiquette that are expected of them? Because I think Rahm said he doesn't mind it, and there have been a few incidents. I think Sergio Garcia, older guy, probably should know better, blew up. And then there was another one that he was referencing where there was a club toss, but nowhere near any fans, which is great, but never good to see in a major championship. What did you make of that, if you even paid any attention to it?
I think some of these players, and they should behave in a traditional sense and respect the game of golf. But hey, golf's a hard game and it gets to you from time to time. We've seen the best in the world. I can remember Rory McIlroy walking down the fairway at Doral, number 8, and hocking his 3-iron out into the middle of a lake. He still had a lot of holes to play. And that was over a decade ago. I mean, guys have been behaving poorly in tournament golf for decades. This is not something new, and what is new is our TikTok society and the fact that there's a camera everywhere. So everything is going to get caught. There's a hot mic everywhere. So, part of it is a cultural thing. It has to do with like the fans acting the way they do too. Everyone is looking to film something and have it go viral so they can get their like 15 seconds of fame. We're not even getting 15 minutes and people are going nuts over all of this. I don't think it's a new trend. I think it's something that's always been there, but now that the ability we have to like capture more of it, it just becomes one of these storylines. Going back to the legacy thing, the media used to show up on a Tuesday, even for a major championship. Now they're showing up on Saturday and Sunday, and they have their own social media accounts, and they're trying to consistently like outdo one another and gain more followers because that's how they think they rate popularity rather than the quality of the story. So, you look at something like a guy throwing a club, and the one you're referencing was Joaquin Niemann at the U.S. Open. He had a bad hole. And he was in the middle of that bad hole, and he took the club and he hocked it down the middle of the fairway. Should he have done that in the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills? Definitely not. Is it good that the majors have come together and they've said, hey, we need a code of conduct policy, the PGA Tour and everyone? Yeah, I think so. If this is becoming, more of a visual issue, but it's always been there, Tom. It's not like this is something new. And, there's been so much talk about fan behavior and why people are booing and, how the way Wyndham Clark was treated at Shinnecock Hills. And, a lot of the players are coming, Jordan Spieth comes out and says, oh, it's because they're all betting on golf. Well, hey, hang on, Jordan. Last time I checked, you were sponsored by FanDuel. So, take a step back and have some perspective there. Really what it comes down to, you know what? People are more engaged than ever because maybe they are putting a $5 or $10 bet down on a certain guy. And, everyone's worried about, oh, they can affect play or they can do this or they can do that. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. But maybe the PGA Tour or these major championships should think about the fact that they're the only professional league or association that doesn't regulate alcohol intake. I mean, going to a PGA Tour tournament is like going to an airport bar. They'll serve you a drink any time of day you want. You go to a football game, Or you go to a hockey match at the end of the second period, they cut you off. You go to a football game, end of a third quarter. You could go at 7 a.m., you could go at 7 p.m. and get a drink on over across 200 acres of property at a golf tournament. So, I think people are a little more liquored up than they are hitting the Bet365 tab.
Nicely done, Keith. Really nicely. That was smooth, man. Oh, I love it. And speaking of the instant gratification of social media, this was prior to the TikTok, Instagram story age, but a buddy of mine, to bring it closer to home, went down. I don't think it was a Waste Management Open. It was another tournament that he went and checked out. And his line after someone's drive, which was "let the big dog eat," which he thought was hilarious at the time. This is like 15 years ago, at minimum 15 years ago, made like the Sports Center in Canada top 10.
Yep.
And he was bragging about that to everybody, sending it out via email, old school. And I'm thinking, like, that is the stupidest thing. And he just loved it. I'm like, you're 25 years old and you're bragging about this. So maybe we're at a time where it's like the perfect storm. This younger generations, if you will, instant gratification of social media, and then you get a stage like a PGA championship or a major, and a guy goes and pops off and knows it's going to get clicks and people can cover it. And I don't know. It's interesting to me that it popped up. And listen, I know golf can be stringent when it comes to its code of conduct and the rules and traditions and all of that, but it feels like it's loosened up in recent years, has it not?
Definitely. And look at something like, the Shield or the NFL or the NBA. I mean, look at all the strict policies they have on uniforms and, how the guys behave and, penalties inside games and all of that. Golf's pretty loose when it comes to all that stuff. A guy might get a fine for hitting a hot mic or something like that, but, they're open to wear almost pretty much whatever they want when it comes to, staying in the kind of the guidelines of, general dress for playing golf. Like they can use whatever equipment they want. They're independent contractors. They can play when they want, so golf has a little more flexibility than it kind of gets, a reputation for. And at the same time, it's also becoming very popular. There's a lot of sports fans that are now going and watching golf. And, I think about, the World Cup is happening right now. And I can remember watching like European soccer and they're like lighting fires in the stadiums. And I'm like, what is going on at these places? This is insane. Right. And, that level of fandom is now coming, and tailgaters are coming to golf tournaments. And it's just a whole different level. Yeah. Hey, we're all descendants of Darwin here. Right. And at times, we're a little, society may get a little bit ahead of evolution and what we can handle. And we certainly are at that case right now when it comes to cell phones or smartphones and social media and all those other things. Water will find its level. Everything will be okay. We'll all be playing golf. I mean, this is the 154th Open Championship. You think there have been some changes, since it started back in the 1800s? So Royal Birkdale, just a fantastic opportunity for these guys. Not certainly, I mentioned with Bryson, not the type of place that you want to go and hit a ton of drivers. Everyone's talking about the baked out conditions. You're going to see a lot of irons, a lot of poking and prodding, a lot of chess moves around this golf course. And you're going to see a lot of fun shots. You're going to see guys bouncing it off of mounds and hills. And, like Jordan, the last time we were here in 2017 at Royal Birkdale, up in the dunes. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this golf tournament over the next 4 days.
Hey, I was going to ask you about the conditions, but you nailed it already. What big names do you expect to be right there, and which sleeper picks might you suggest? Who are some guys that might be on the rise and peaking at the right moment at the Open?
Probably the two hottest names that are over there right now. Sure, Scotty Scheffler is number one player in the world, but he missed the cut last weekend. First time since 2022. Could be trouble in that camp. Rory, always a ton of pressure on him, always very popular in any major championship. We know those names. Let me give you a couple others. Matt Fitzpatrick, Englishman, right? Super hot golfer right now. His last, basic 3 of his last 4 starts before coming into the Open have been top 4 finishes. A lot of steam around Matt Fitz, 3rd last weekend in Scotland. And Tommy Fleetwood comes home to Southport, England, which is where Royal Birkdale is. He and his caddy, they grew up there. Everybody loves Fairway Jesus. You got to love Tommy Fleetwood. He's just the nicest guy out there. I go on site to a lot of these events. And those are probably the 2 biggest names, not only because they're English and we're in England, but because they're 2 golfers that are playing very, very well. Don't sleep on a couple of guys further down the board. I'll first go with the guy who won last week, Tom Kim. At Read the Line, we predicted him to win 86-1 payout, whether it's Bet365 or anybody else. over 80 to 1 in a golf tournament. Tell me another sport where you're going to hit the 4-day lottery like that, Tom.
Yeah.
You're not, right? Killing it. Tom absolutely striking his irons beautifully, and he's scrambling very well. Two of the skills that are going to be the most important heading into Royal Birkdale. And then another name down the list. 1998, he was 18 years old. He finished T4. Everybody remembers the moment on the last hole. He pitches in from like 44 yards away, Justin Rose. 28 years later, he is now playing at Royal Birkdale again. In his major championships this year, he's got 3 finishes inside the top 11. He was 3rd at the Masters. This guy has become a big gain hunter later in his career. We see this a lot at the Open Championship, that some of the more mature golfers, because they understand how to play links golf, which is different than over here in the United States or even North America up in Canada, much more target related and much more green. You know, this week you're going to see a lot of shades of beige out there. So somebody like Rose is down there in the 40s. Tom Kim, he's up there in the 60s. And, you know, Fitz and Fleetwood are right around 20, all of which are a great bet to win.
Love it. Keith, this has been absolutely tremendous getting us ready for the Open. It's going to be an awesome weekend at Royal Birkdale. Thanks for hopping on today. I look forward to doing this again sometime soon.
Well, Kevin and I, speaking of legacies, Kevin and I used to do it for every major and the different matches, the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup. Gaz, you have my number. Call me anytime. I love to talk golf, man.
Oh, likewise. Hey, and get this. Kevin's going to be on the course today. What a surprise.
Shocker.
Yep. Thank you, Keith. Really appreciate it.
Have a great week, everybody.
There's Keith Stewart from Read the Line. He's our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Drain clogged pipes like 3-pointers for all your plumbing needs. Go to mrrooter.ca. Good stuff there. That was very thorough. And boy, we went through that fast. Like, holy, that ate up the entire segment. Keith, oh, that was awesome. The let the big dog eat line. And my buddy, just really quickly, was so proud of himself, you guys. And I'm like, what are you talking like? That's stupid.
So you're saying this is over 15 years ago, this happened, Tom. So can we blame your buddy for that trend becoming so popular at televised golf tournaments where everybody, as you and Keith kind of discussed pretty extensively, like everybody wants their little flash in the pan of like, yeah, that was me yelling mashed potatoes after Bryson DeChambeau unleashed a 350-yard drive or something. Like,
we can blame him.
I can. I'm on board with that because I despise it.
Same.
I think it is just like so dumb and pointless, and it's all just in the effort of making yourself feel cool for a few moments. I suppose. Like, you're it's like, just watch the golf, like celebrate it. And this is coming from someone who I was not as opposed to when we saw Wyndham Clark really facing the wrath of the crowd at the U.S. Open, coming in, like people were cheering for his putts or his chip shots to roll off greens and miss putts and stuff. I can appreciate like sports having villains, and it seems Wyndham Clark has made himself that to at least some extent the PGA. That's great, and it makes for good rooting interest. But there is still decorum around a game of golf where you talk about like talking in guys' backswings or you know, like I said, making a spectacle of it in spots where there's no need for spectacle, if you kind of catch my drift. So I'm good. I'm there for it when it actually is relevant to the sport and it's being played. But yeah, just yelling after guys hit off the tee. Like, what are we? I don't get it. I think it's so silly.
It is silly. And yes, we can blame him, although I'm sure he wasn't the first to hop on that trend. He's not that creative and clever. That was great stuff from Keith Stewart from Read the Line for Mr. Rooter Plumbing. All right, well, we got to step out for a quick breather. We got some hockey news to get to on the other side of this break. It's the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Kickoff is coming July 17th. Elks, Lions at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Dog Days of Summer presented by ATCO Energy. Bring your pup and watch the game in an exclusive section. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Legendary is here with BetMGM Sportsbook. Sign up now to unlock access to hundreds of pre-match and live betting options for all your favorite sports. Download the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
$7:47. Good morning. It's the Tom Gazzola Show. We're having fun here on this Wednesday edition of the show. Hope you're having a great day. Some text coming in after we talked to Keith Stewart from Read the Line. Great PGA talk as we get set for the Open at Royal Birkdale. And we're talking about like influencers and how the game of golf is evolving. And a bunch of texts have come in. 1-833-401-1440. Bobby says, morning, gentlemen. Let the big dog eat is definitely meh. I would like to go back in time and slap the first guy who yelled, get in the hole. It's unnecessary when you hear like 19 men, probably middle-aged, guys my age, going, get in the hole, when it's like a 3-foot putt that these guys are essentially 98% on in big tournaments. But yeah, you get some social sparklers, swing lubricant, wobbly pops in there. And a dumb idea all of a sudden to some becomes a brilliant idea. And I think we're all guilty of it, or at least most of us. Greater Man Jay says, I assumed I was the big dog because my hybrid is small. And then Dr. Dick Richard, is that your real name? Says social media influencers are a scourge on society. Golf needs to shrink the game. Not every classless fool needs to be allowed on a golf course. Have you not seen Happy Gilmore? Although I think this is a shtick, Dr. Dick. Call it a hunch. Call it a hunch. And then King of Fort Neste says, did anyone tell your Remchuk about the coat hanger trick before he hit 3,100 balls on Monday?
Like, do you think Yaremchuk went to the range before he started that?
No.
Doing some drills, like making sure he's like fundamentally right?
No, I don't think so. Knowing Ty, no. And then I'm going to get to Russ here. Russ is a hater. Gazzola pretending he knows something about golf. Laughable. Russ, settle down. I could probably beat you on the course.
Do you know Russ?
No.
Oh, he's just
no.
You don't. Tom, I've yet to see you play, but I've heard good things. I heard you're pretty nice out there. So I think you're in a position to talk a little golf.
Yeah. I don't follow the PGA like it's a religion.
Right.
I enjoy it casually. I love golf. I love to play.
On the majors, I assume.
Yeah.
Like when major champions come around, you're maybe a little more in tune to sit down for an afternoon and watch.
Sunday I'll watch.
Really? Still?
Catch up.
Even the majors, you're not watching Thursday or Friday?
No. I'm sorry. It's not my thing to like watch. So Russ, there you go. You're informed now, buddy.
You're an
Put me on the course with you. I'll take you
supporter.
out. Yep. There you go. Kent McKenzie says this isn't a GD rock concert. Go back to your shanties. Great line from Happy Gilmore. Matt and Leduc says some are influencers. Others are just under the influence. Well said. Well said. And then 1010 Ken adds $10 says your buddy owned at least 2 pairs of white framed sunglasses. You know what? He probably did back then. Okay, we got some hockey news. Brando, what happened in the last little bit here? Because it's important stuff from around the league.
It is pretty important. It almost seems like this was not a long time coming, but seemed to be drawing nearer and near to a realistic possibility. The Detroit Red Wings have announced this morning that Steve Yzerman is moving out of his role as general manager. He will be promoted, technically, as a senior advisor to Governor and CEO Chris Ilitch, of course, the Ilitch family owning and operating the Red Wings. So the team is in search of a new head of hockey operations, president of hockey ops, and GM.
It's time.
Which this, like I said, it kind of, I think a lot of us saw this as a very real possibility when you look at the discontent, the lack of progress in the Yzer plan in Detroit, where it's just like, okay, you get close again, you don't really do anything at the deadline, you bring in some more veteran pieces that don't bolster your lineup in a real impact sense, and you miss the playoffs again. And then with this Dylan Larkin situation, with the wanting out because of the lack of progress, all of a sudden, I have to think that the Ilitch family were looking around saying, okay, listen, we can't fire you because you're a franchise icon, but we don't really want you making the hockey decisions anymore. Now, he is still going to maintain the his current role to facilitate day-to-day operations until they find the next guy, or guys, plural perhaps, if they want to split the POHO and GM jobs. You know, plenty of organizations do that.
Yep.
So he's still at the helm, got his hands on the sticks. I wonder if the ownership has said, yeah, you're running day to day, but you are not at authorization to make any moves of substance here until we find someone else, aka a solution for Dylan Larkin. I think that might be on a big pause.
That's the way this situation has devolved, and the fact that nothing has transpired with Dylan Larkin is interesting. Maybe they're trying to salvage that relationship, and perhaps that's part of it, like you're alluding to, I think, here, Brando.
Yeah, it's and I wonder now, with the change in leadership, management, does this Dylan Larkin situation change with it? Where now all of a sudden is he willing to give it another shake with a fresh face, a fresh voice guiding the team, a new direction for the organization? Or does the new guy come in and say, hey, we respect it, well, let's continue to search for you, we're maybe hitting the reset or retool button a little bit here, because the like we said, the current iteration, the current building blocks of this team are not there on par with some of the strides that other teams have taken around them in their division, in their conference, and of course across the entire NHL.
Now, having said that, it's a little late in the game, don't you think, to be making a GM move?
It's odd for sure, because we've already seen a couple other teams fill this type of position. And I mean, like Nashville had a very long search for theirs before they eventually poached Chris McFarland out of Colorado. Is there another team that hired a new? Oh, well, obviously Sonny Meta going to Jersey. We saw Toronto's whole debacle out in Vancouver. So, yeah, there's already been a lot of candidates taken off the board. But I do think that the GM spot compared to, say, head coaches, there's usually a little bit more unknowns in the mix because I don't think we're as familiar with some of these executive guys as we are the constant carousel of reruns and retreads on head coaches that we see. And with GMs, I think because let's just use Buffalo as an example. Like Jarmo Kekalainen stepped in there as an advisor or an assistant GM, whatever his title was, with Kevin Adams. They boot Adams. He takes over the job. Well, now look at the staff that he has around him. Even as recently as yesterday, they hired John Davidson. He's been in the game for 30 years as an executive already. Mark Bergevin, former successful and long tenured GM, is his assistant there. Like, these guys exist in every organization. There's a pretty big pool to pick from, I would think.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of finding the right guy.
Usually they have this sorted out by now, but we'll see. I mean, it's a GM job. There's only 32 of them in the world, and guys will jump at that opportunity.
It's very sought after, no doubt.
However, we've gone through free agency. There are some guys still lingering around there. Anthony Mantha is not one of them because, Brando?
Because he has signed with the Devils this morning. 2 years, $9.5 million, which even my Delburn Central School math can tell me is $4.75 million AAV.
Tim texting and says, boys, Yzerman gets the Kevin Lowe treatment. Yeah, a little bit. We've seen this from other organizations, and it does tend to happen, especially like Brandon was talking about, the connection to the Ilitch family and Yzerman going back to, 84 when he was drafted by them, and the glory of the Stanley Cup years and being the captain and all that, learning the trade under Kenny Holland before going over to Tampa, and then the Yzer plan after building a pretty strong Tampa team. But Julian Breezeball has been very successful there. Nothing seemed to work in Detroit. And to the point where Dylan Larkin, who's a Michigan kid, the captain, the face of the franchise, new arena, everything, all that stuff in this time, and it ain't working. It's interesting. Couple more texts. Love it. King of Fort Nasty getting back in there. Who's Donna the exec? Tell me about Donna the exec.
Donnie.
Oh, Donnie.
Donovan Paulson. That's King of Fort Nasty taking a page out of Kevin Karras' book where he gave Donnie a nickname that he's the only one that uses it. And he envisions Donovan Paulson, all 6 feet, 110 pounds of him, as some very powerful executive that's the actual puppet master here at Sports 1440, pulling the strings, ruthless, cutting the cord on interns because they make a mistake, that type of thing. He's ruthless in King of Fort Nasty's eyes.
See, I'm learning about all these nicknames that Karras has given people. Some of them make a lot of sense. Some of them, I need the background story too. So Donnie the exec would have canned Stevie Y 3 years ago. That's King of Fort Nasty. Okay. And then not the goalie rollie, says Bruce Cassidy, the next head coach in Detroit. Wouldn't that be interesting? Well, you know what? We've got the right guy to talk to on the way next. Mark Spector will be joining us for On the Mark, but we have to get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Breaking news out of the NHL this morning is the Detroit Red Wings announcing that general manager Steve Yzerman moving out of his role and will now serve as a senior advisor to the team's governor and CEO, Chris Ilitch. Now, team on the search for a new head of hockey operations and general manager. The team announcing both internal and external candidates to be considered. Anthony Mantha, most recent free agent, off the board as he has landed in New Jersey on a 2-year deal that will pay him an average annual value of $4.75 million against the cap. Mantha, 33 goals and a huge bounce-back season last year in 81 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins. World Cup pick semifinal action yesterday. Spain blanking France 2-0 to advance through to Sunday's final. And MLB All-Star Game going last night from Philadelphia. The American League blanking the NL All-Stars 4-0. Blue Jay Dylan Cease picks up the win in the effort, and Miguel Vargas homering for the American League in their winning effort. And WNBA pair of games yesterday. The Tempo fall to the Mystics 79-62 in Toronto, while the Sun defeated the Fire 90-87 in an afternoon affair. Coming up in hour 2 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, as well as Edmonton City Councilor Reed Clark. I'm Brandon Douglas, Center Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
It's the hard jobs that take know-how, expertise, and the right experience. And that's why, time and time again, GS Construction gets the call when it comes to the hard jobs. Underground projects that are genuinely difficult, like deep installs, tough ground conditions, or tight urban sites. So remember, when it's a hard job, the list gets short, and GS Construction is on it. Want to tackle the hard jobs? We're looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
From the first face-off to the final, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk. With live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows, we bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7, only on Sports 1440, Edmonton's sports station.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Rainy weather, flooded basements, not a great summer so far. Hi, it's Dennis from Weiss Johnson. If your home has been flooded and your furnace, water tank, or central AC sustained damage, remember, you can choose the company you'd prefer to repair or replace it. You don't have to use the restoration company's referral. After all you've been through, you don't deserve to be pushed into something you don't want or need. So count on a business that's been helping homeowners for nearly 50 years. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
8:02, hour number 2. Here on a Wednesday, it's the Gazzola Show presented by Bet365. Glad you're with us this lovely morning. Text us 1-833-401-1440. Mark Spector ready to rock for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. In July, you pay what they pay. You can get employee pricing all month long on every car, truck, or SUV. Stop in and see their great selection at northgategm.com. Good morning, Spec. How long did you stay last night at KK's retirement party?
Left before Carius, that's for sure.
Shocking.
So not till the very end. In fact, walked home. It was a nice, beautiful night. Walked home with Derek Van Diest. Had a nice chat. A little fresh air. Fresh as a daisy this morning. Life's good, Tommy. Life's good.
Did you stop at Kelly's with DVD?
He wanted to go to Kelly's. We stopped somewhere else. I didn't want to go all the way there.
Okay. I had a hunch. It was a good time. It was a really good time, and nice to see everybody out yesterday in the middle of the summer. So, and for good reason too. And KK is going to be on the golf course with Eddie Steele today. We're wondering how that match is going to go, and I'm sure KK will try to do everything in his power, like the boys said, to get in Eddie's grill. alas, we have some NHL news, and we're just talking about this going into the last break, but the Yzer plan has not gone well, and it's over. He fails up, if you will, staying on as an advisor. And when the ownership group loves you and you're a legend in that market and the NHL, quite frankly, and the hockey world, this tends to happen. But Spec, I mean, this was a long time coming, right?
Yeah, listen, it's an excellent lesson in rebuilding. You know, it's easy to always say it, man. It's easy to start a rebuild, sell off your assets and make a bunch of moves and acquire a bunch of draft picks and young players, but it's hard to end a rebuild. You know, look at Buffalo, 10, 14 years out of the playoffs.
Yep.
Right. That whole division really was a good study, right? You know, Montreal rebuilt, Ottawa sort of rebuilt, right? Buffalo for sure rebuilt, Detroit rebuilt, all in the same division, and Buffalo took forever. Montreal looks like they got a really, really nice team with an excellent financial, salary grid. Ottawa, I don't know what is Ottawa. Nobody's sure. And then there's Detroit. They were the ones that they still haven't come out of the thing, and now they're losing guys off the back end. So in terms of Larkin wanting to leave, so yes, it's a case study in rebuilding, and it doesn't always end the way it started with the same guy at the helm. That's for sure.
No, that's true. Now, another thought just kind of evolved in the discussion in the last segment. I'm curious to know what you think, but this Dylan Larkin situation, the fact that, it's still kind of at the status quo, if there was friction there, and we assume there was between him and Yzerman and the Yzer plan, whatever you want to call it, if somebody else is coming in, a new voice, a new direction, could that salvage the relationship, or do you think that's too far gone?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not inside the Larkin camp, so I have a limited knowledge. I would say to you that you don't want to lose a veteran leader, good player, obviously, on a team like that. Your young guys, if he's a positive influence, he's a good player. We know that. If he's a positive influence and he's helping bring along your culture and trying to get things going the right direction, I'm going to try to reapproach that, Larkin, and keep him. Hopefully this will change his mind. Now, I don't know if he wants out of there because of Yzerman specifically, or is he just sick of losing? Because it's not going to turn around in 5 minutes just because you have a new GM. Now a new guy's coming in, and he's got to get his feet on the ground, and he's got to figure out how he's going to move this thing forward. And if it's the sheer length of time of this rebuild and the fact that there's really no, I don't see a big sunny, beautiful horizon here very close. I don't see Detroit being, one or two moves away from being any good. If that's what's driving Larkin out of town, well, that hasn't changed.
Right.
They're still far away. They're still mired in a rebuild. They're still, no matter who they hire, Larkin might say, great, I didn't want to spend 3 or 4 more years doing this under Yzerman, and I don't want to do it under the next guy. So I'm not sure Larkin's going to be the ultimate guy to decide, but it's a pretty big task for you come in the door and your first task is your best player wants out. That's a tough way to start the job.
Yeah. Welcome to the team.
Yeah. Right.
What about the timing, Spec? Because we've gone through the draft and free agency, and that's a lot of heavy lifting, and that's a continued direction from Steve Yzerman. And then now all of a sudden, they're saying, all right, let's turn you into a senior advisor.
Yeah.
And let's bring in another voice and another set of ideas. I find it a bit odd that we're talking about this on July 15th, but maybe it makes perfect sense to them.
I don't know. There's a fine line between an organization that works methodically and doesn't make rash decisions and one that should have done this when the season ended. If you're doing this, I don't know when the Ilitch family finally decided, I guess we got to do this. We all know, Yzerman is the favorite son of the Ilitch. I mean, Mr. Ilitch isn't with us anymore. I'm not sure about Mrs. Ilitch, but they all love Yzerman.
Yeah.
And the son is running the show now, and it's a big deal in Detroit, to fire Yzerman here. They don't do this lightly. But if you were going to do it, I would have rather had my own guy there at the draft. I would have rather had the new guy try to trade Larkin, not the old guy. I don't see how. I don't know what's going on here. They keep him on as some advisor. If you hired me as GM in Detroit and you said you're coming in as the new GM, but you kind of got to run everything across Steve Yzerman's desk before you do anything, that's kind of doesn't work either, does it?
No, I would not think so. I would think that he's just a figurehead. If you want this to truly be a new chapter in the Red Wings story, but yeah, like Spec. I mean, you covered them through their heyday and all that, and that's when I got in 15 years ago. They were still a formidable team, obviously. To see them struggle the way they have as a franchise and the lack of success on the ice, it just doesn't seem right. But I mean, we're coming up on a decade here, and now we're talking about Steve Yzerman being a guy that hasn't done anything. He's done diddly, to be honest with you, as the GM of the team. So, do you think that puts a stain on his legacy? Because I know he waited and he learnt under Kenny Holland, and then he went to Tampa and did some good things, and then we thought that this was the right move, a smart move by the Red Wings, and it just no, it really went sideways very quickly, and they didn't have much of a sniff most years.
Yeah, it's true. And he was very qualified for the job. He worked in obviously under Holland in Holland's prime and learned a lot. He went to Tampa, did a pretty good job, was surrounded with smart people there, would have come out of Tampa even a wiser guy. Nobody minded the hire. It wasn't like you just grabbed a player off the ice after his career and made him your GM.
Right.
He was totally qualified for the job. But like I keep saying, there's no rules and time constraints on a rebuild. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't catch. I think the one consistent thing is, generally speaking, certainly they go through coaches, but the GM that starts the rebuild isn't usually the GM that finishes it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm Detroit, I'm probably looking in the agent world. A couple of the best GMs are in Montreal and Florida, are former agents. Right? Maybe you go down that road at this point if you're Detroit.
Yeah, and tandems too seem to be a thing, right? That's kind of evolved in the last 7 or 8 years in the NHL. So we'll see. It's On the Mark with Mark Spector. And this text, I want to get your thoughts on this, because there's been a lot of discussion about Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard now. And Scuff Darren texted in and said, "Morning, guys. How do the Blackhawks deal with Bedard? He needs a contract, but he's out till November. Do they sign him on a bridge deal? How do you think this kind of all evolves, Spec? Because it's interesting. He's been a very good player since he was taken first overall a few years ago, but it's not on the same level as a Celebrini. We feel like Bedard's been passed by Celebrini, and this is a bit of a pickle, don't you think?"
Well, yeah, it is. But, I mean, I guess it's how you frame it. Macklin Celebrini, sure, he's better than Bedard. Looks like it. He's also got a better team around him.
True.
But I guess I'd say to you, Tom, that the one thing they have in common is they're both their franchise's best player. So, I mean, Bedard's not as good as McDavid either, but Bedard's Chicago's best player. And he's their future, and they want dearly to keep him for a long, long time. He's the guy they're building around. Whether he's as good as this guy, not as good as that guy, it really doesn't matter. He is Chicago's shining light here. So they'll pay him, so he got hurt in the summer and he's going to miss a couple months. That's got no bearing on anything. He's still their best player. He's still their franchise guy, right? They still sell a ton of jerseys around him. So they'll sign him long-term. They'll sign him for, he's got to make okay, so does he make as much money as the, the 15, 16, 17 million? I mean, look at Leo Carlson. Is Bedard better than Carlson? I don't know. Probably not yet. Is he going to be? I'm not sure. We're not sure. Well, Carlson's making 18 million. So what is that? Where does that leave Bedard? Okay, you're not quite as good. Okay, I'll take 16 million. What's he at here? So I think it's relative. I think it's about paying your best guy the most money. Whichever town you're in, whichever team you play for, the best guy should make the most money. And in Chicago, that definitely is Bedard, isn't it?
I would say so. Absolutely.
Can't screw it up and let him go. You can't not pay him. You can't get in a war with the guy. He's your future captain, isn't he?
I would think so. I mean, he's been a good soldier, and you're right. That Kyle Davidson has not built built a really strong team around him, to be honest. But it's interesting when it comes to him because some people, I think, wonder, and then they'll send in notes to us or they'll question out loud or they'll talk about it on social media if Bedard is unhappy and wants to trade and is grumpy and all that. A lot of those guys, I think, have pride in wanting to stick it out with the teams that draft them and actually live up to that expectation. At least in my experiences with the numerous number ones that we've dealt with over the years, Spec. That's my sense of these guys. And Chicago, as we know, is a phenomenal hockey market. And I think he would want to reciprocate and show them some love and stick around and sign that longer ticket, even though he is hurt right now. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like, what a great place to live. What a great place to play. What a great franchise if you could be part of bringing it from where it is today into a competitive winning franchise. Like, oh, for sure. You become a legend. You win in Chicago. It's, that's just as good as winning in Boston, close second to Toronto and Montreal type thing, right? So for sure. I mean, I don't know if I'm the kid's agent or father, I'm saying what you're saying. Like, what are you looking for, a better franchise? Let's ride it out. It's only been, what's this? Is this going to be his fourth year? No, third year.
Yeah, he's been through 3 now, right? Yeah, he's going into his fourth. So like,
stick it out. He's just a young guy here.
Yeah.
He has to forget the team. He's got a ton of improving to do too. He's got to become a leader. He's got to become a consistent, more consistent player. Maybe he needs to take a run and close that gap with Celebrini here. So there's lots to be accomplished. If I'm Bedard, like, I'm thinking, I love where I'm at. Why would I want to be somewhere other than Chicago? I love Chicago. It's a great town and it's a good hockey town.
We've had some fun there, that's for sure. And that anthem, man, when that building's rocking, 22,000 people at the United Center, and the team's good. It's a tough building and city to go into and win games. And you're right, it's awesome. And it's a good hockey city. So if you're a superstar and you're leading the Hawks to success, then you're a legend. I mean, simple as that. Okay, the other bit of news that dropped: Anthony Mantha, he gets $5.4 million this season, $4.1 million this season, AAV 4.75, 2-year $9.5 million deal. So he doesn't have to fall into that like Jack Roslovic category, which we thought might end up happening depending on the situation and the landscape of the NHL. But he gets that 2-year deal with the Devils. What do you think of that? Some tidy work by the Devils, and surprising that he gets it taken care of before everything goes dark in hockey?
Yeah, look, I'm not a giant Anthony Mantha fan, but at less than $5 million AAV, that's a pretty good buy for the Devils. There's no great term there, so that keeps the player hungry. So that's good for the Devils. I think he's, if he plays to his potential, he's certainly a $5 million player, or 4.75. So I think it's for sure. Like, this is a guy who was in free agency hoping for at least 3 years. He told the Pittsburgh Penguins, I want a 3-year deal, and they wouldn't give him one. So I think for sure it's a team-friendly contract. Don't you think so, Tom?
I think so. I mean, especially nowadays with, again, the cap going up, the new landscape, a deal like that for a player that can put up numbers. He does swing, from good years to bad years, but really not that much of a risk and not that much of a money commitment to me, at least now, adapting and evolving my thought on the financial landscape of the NHL.
Yeah, it's changing. We got to get our head around that. I mean, Anthony Mantha's got to turn the corner here and become a steady pro. He should be, at the end of this deal, a guy that you'll want to sign for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? For him to go through free agency the way he did and end up with a 2-year deal and this late. I mean, it's July 15th here. That should be a real slap in the face. That this is, the market tells you what the league thinks of you and your game and your future and your past. And the market told Roslovic last year that you don't get a long-term deal. Like, where no one out there, 32 teams, is giving it to you. And it told Mantha pretty much the same thing this year. So he's making good money. 4.75 is awesome. Jersey, let's see what they do. But he needs to focus down and have 2 good years, not just one of the 2 good years, right?
Yep. Well said, Spec. We'll see how he handles it, but he finds a home in New Jersey. Hey, great stuff as always, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good, Tommy. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. I see what you did there. There's Mark Spector on the mark, brought to you by and powered by Northgate. This truck's for you. Couple quick texts. I see Reed Clark's already here. Good to see him. He's all trapped up. He's got his trapper's gear on. Jay in Victoria is asking, does Detroit hire within? Maybe someone like Draper? Do they go out of market like the Leafs did? You know who's a name to keep an eye on? And even in Detroit, Sean Horkoff. He has been kind of learning the ropes. So keep an eye on Sean Horkoff. Maybe he pops up in Detroit as the next GM. That's just kind of out of left field, but I know that has sort of been his progress, is he's kind of tracking towards wanting to become a GM in the National Hockey League. Jordan says, keep fit and have fun. Yes, a reference to yesterday. We are Joanne McLeod and oh God, Hal Johnson discussion. And then quick note, if you're driving, Bitten Dangle says eastbound Yellowhead at 127 closed due to something. Both lanes shut. Okay, if you're taking the Yellowhead at 127th Street intersection, closed due to something. Both lanes shut. If that changes, update us. We'll pass that along to people making their commute in and around town. Thank you, Ben Dangles, for that. When we return, it is Reed Clark. Haven't seen this guy in a little while. Good to see him here in studio on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero-gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back. LeadingEdgePhysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
From the first face-off
Sports 1440
is your home for hockey talk.
with live coverage,
Expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows.
we bring you
Closer to the game.
Tune in 24/7.
Only on Sports 1440.
Edmonton Sports Station.
Hey, Alberta. You can now get your health number and Canadian citizenship marker on your driver's license and ID card. No more flimsy paper health cards or multiple IDs to juggle. Just one card, that's it. To get yours, bring your Alberta health card, proof of Canadian citizenship, or other eligible documentation to the registry to renew your card. Learn more at alberta.ca/onecard. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Here with BetMGM Casino. Download now to check out over 4,000 casino games, including exclusive slots like Survivor and hundreds of live dealer games. Unlock Vegas magic and sign up for the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
It's the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Good morning, Bet365. Check out their early payout for baseball. When your team goes up by 5 runs, you get paid out immediately. No stress about blowing a big lead. Download the app. See what early payouts all about. And that goes hand in hand with our next guest, Reed Clark from City Council. Big baseball fan, big football fan. You'll see him at the tailgate pretty much every Elks game.
Yeah, we'll be there this Friday.
Excellent. And then you can also catch him around Remax Field quite a bit. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice he's wearing like a classic vintage 95 Trappers starter jacket.
I think it's got to be around there. It's got to be around that kind of 90s, because it's got the teal for the Marlins as the affiliate, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I just picked this up on Saturday. It's at a vintage market. I had to get it.
I saw you post that.
I had to get it.
That's a great find. Well, it's great to have you here. I haven't chatted with you in a little while, not too long, but you did something that was very surprising, and I appreciate very much. I'm showing it on YouTube. Tell us what this is.
Yeah, it's I'm proud of you, Tommy. I'm proud of BD and the whole crew and putting this together with your own show. So this is an official certificate from City Council. So this is a congratulations certificate to the Tom Gazzola Show. It's a recognition of your official launch, the Tom Gazzola Show on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports talk on July 6, 2026. So put a little signature on that, put it in a frame for you, and now you're official. So, you got a congratulations, and it's a big deal. So, whenever that kind of happens, in the West End or in my ward, I always try to make sure that people get that acknowledgement.
That is too kind. Thank you, Reed.
Happy to do it. Hey, it's one of the cool, easy things that you can do in this role as a counselor. So when everyone's open up, a new business or does something that's really kind of special, like you starting your own show, then we come with a little certificate.
It's amazing. My mom's probably sitting at home going, "Oh my God, baby, that's so amazing." She's in St. Albert though, so it's a little.
That's
different.
okay. That's all right.
Okay, a couple things. So people talking about 127th. And Yellowhead, and you have the update as a city councilor.
In my role as city councilor, I did get the email at 7:04 a.m. So just some road closures on 127th Street in Yellowhead, eastbound and westbound, and kind of obvious reason on that is flooding, right? So kind of what we saw last time, everyone was kind of up. You guys are probably still at Carius's retirement party when that was going on, but we had some more rain and everything, and it's been been a tough week for that. And,
Yes.
you know, it's been, well, a tough month with all the rain and everything. So that's one thing. So that's going to hurt for a little bit. We don't have an update on when that's going to be open, but as soon as I do, I will share that information.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's the formal official city council update on the situation on the Yellowhead 127. Hey, it can't be easy for like municipalities. I mean, you're dealing with it right now, but like getting that much rain, like I think we have a pretty good system. EPCOR is one of the best in the world, but man, there must have been a lot of phone calls and issues and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, weather-wise, it's been tough since I got elected at the end of October, right? Then we get like the most snow we've ever had and get a dump, and then we can't, you know, clear the roads at the level we need to. So we run into that, which has never really happened in how many years. And then we run into a June where we've never had this much rain. I mean, everybody's in the city has been here for a while. Is like, what is going on here? This is nuts. So we saw, I mean, my basement flooded. I saved some of my collectibles, but not all of them, unfortunately.
No.
And a lot of people did. And then we had flooding. I mean, Telus World Science still closed. That flooded.
That's right.
You know, we had Peter Hemingway Pool, a new coronation center that flooded, still not open.
Did it? Oh,
yeah.
that looks like a great facility too.
And a whole bunch of other places that we're working on. So that storm we had on the weekend, it's just tough to keep up with that much water when it comes, right? And what we already had kind of on the balance too. So we're working through it. Trees are down. You know, if anyone sees that, you let me know if it's in the West End. 3-on-1's actually pretty good. It's put that in there. I always tell people put it on 3-on-1 and then just light me up, and then we'll kind of get that going for you.
You've said that to me about stuff in and around downtown, which isn't your ward, right?
No, it's not. Yeah.
And so you're like, let me know, and I'll point out. I think I've sent you a couple of things, or maybe I went right to 3-1-1.
I would say like report it 3-on-1, do the process, and then also let myself, my office know, and then we can make sure that gets handled in the time appropriate.
You know what? I think everybody would appreciate that. They feel heard and they know that their message actually went somewhere.
Well, we got to do it. We got to take action on it, right? This is the job of the city and council. So we got to move things forward.
I have 3 holes in my ceiling. From the rain. I have an amenities floor above me at my unit. It's a very unique unit in my building, right across the street from the arena, newer one, and it usually handles most things well. And they've upgraded and fixed a bunch of stuff in the time since it's been built. And old Tom is not happy right now.
Oh no,
we got a guy coming.
Sorry to hear that.
No, so everybody's been affected by this is basically what I'm saying. And we'll have to get through it together. But some good info there from Reed. Okay, another Trappers vintage thing you brought in. You're like, these guys need a baseball bat in studio. I had this bat. I got it as a kid. This had to have been at the John Ducey days. If they had the red logo and
I think that would be early 90s. John Ducey is kind of what I'm thinking. So the Trappers, I think they had a promo with Pepsi at least one night, maybe a couple nights, and they gave out these bats as kind of giveaways, which is a little bit crazy to give a bat like that because it could be used in a way that could be violent. It's a little dangerous to be giving that out. Times have changed. I don't know if they'd be doing that now if you see that at the ballpark or at any other kind of sporting events. But no, I got a couple of those. An old friend of mine gave me a bunch of old bats just from the old Trappers days. So he's keeping all those. And like I said, as my basement flood, I had all my collectible stuff. So I've been kind of going through it the last week or so.
Yeah.
And I had an extra one of those. So I figured, I think you guys need a bat just to protect yourself and to show some Trappers memorabilia love in the studio.
We had 2 of those. I grew up in Londonderry until we moved to Hall of Kenyon, and then everybody has since moved on in that time. But I believe we had one of those just inside the garage door.
There you go.
Just in case.
Just in case.
You know, it's there for a reason.
Just out of the door here, just in case, right? You never know.
I loved Londonderry. It was a great time. Okay, you've got some other stuff. You've got some cool trinkets. You find all kinds of stuff in and around the city, and you have a deep passion for not only like the current sports teams, but historic ones. You're involved with City of Champs and with Sean Hill.
Yeah.
You guys have unveiled and launched some great merchandise. And then you've kind of, I'm not going to give away too much, but you've got some ideas.
I've got some ideas. I mean, like obviously I'm a huge sports guy and I love everything kind of sports does and brings people together on the community side. But the history of sports in Edmonton is pretty cool. And I started looking at that, I don't know how many years ago. And now it's just, you kind of just start looking at it. And the more you dig, the more you kind of find really cool things. And that's how I started Ross Flats, and now we've done City Champs with Sean Hill, and we're doing that same thing. We're trying to bring back those kind of vintage logos, anything we sort of find. So, we actually we've been a little bit slow. I know everyone else like, hey, when you dropping new stuff? I've just been kind of busy trying to fix a few things at the city level, and Sean's been busy with some other stuff in his other business. But we sat down yesterday. We got some orders in, so we got some new cool stuff coming.
Cool.
But we're also working on, a couple collabs with two of our big partners in the city, with the Oilers and the Elks. So we've been kicking around some ideas there. And I got a few things. I can tease them. I can tease them. These aren't official yet. These are just in talks, but. There was a time in 1975, and everyone knows the Oilers logo, and they always have the orange drop, right? But there was a time they had a blue drop.
Yeah,
blue drop. So it was only for a couple years that the crest was actually it's like an orange with the Oilers, and then there's a blue oil drop.
Yeah, I remember it.
So we've been talking to them. We're trying to bring that back in some way. So what that looks like, you can kind of take that to your own imagination. Shirt, hoodie, jersey, hat, whatever it is. But I think that blue drop could be really cool, right?
I love it. Remember when Ben Scrivens had the orange with the blue drop on his mask?
Yes,
and everyone freaked out about how cool that was. And
Yeah.
Ben's the kind of guy that he'll look back into the archives and be like, oh, I'll try that. I'll do that. He kind of thought outside the box, and I think people, and they were very receptive to it, Oilers fans. So this is a very cool idea. And you guys actually did collaborate with the Oilers.
Yeah, we did. So last year we did a baseball jersey with them, which was based on an old slow pitch game they used to do almost every September. And they had Wainers, they had Messier, they had Fuhr, they had Coffey, they had Kevin Lowe. It was a great picture of Kevin Lowe, and probably the shortest shorts you've ever, shorter than you would ever wear, Tommy, for sure.
My shorts are short.
And these were crazy white shorts, playing slow pitch down the old DC Park. So they used to use charity slow pitch games, and Nike sponsored jerseys because Nike was their whole kit sponsor for everything. Because I guess Phil Knight was a big Gretzky fan, so he came up, and that's how the whole deal got done.
Because they were like the only team that had
the only
Nike
team.
in the
He
80s.
flew up, met Gretzky, wanted to do the Oilers, gave them all kits and the shoes. Kevin Lowe was telling me the story one night at a game, which sounded pretty cool. So anyways, we found that baseball jersey and hat, and we dropped that. It was one of their fast selling collabs they've ever done, actually.
Well, you used Gene as your model.
Yeah, we had Gene didn't hurt. I mean, he was ready to help out. We did a nice little photo shoot at the brew house in the batting cages in the ice district there. So that was good. So they've been looking to work with us again at City of Champs. And we flowed this idea of this blue drop with them. And we thought we had time to get in before the playoffs this year. Didn't really work. So now we're kind of working on maybe that for next season.
You know what is great? And listen, I worked for the Oilers and Rexall Sports, and then eventually became OEG for 8 years. And we had a lot of people in the marketing department, different VPs, and some of them are a tough nut to crack. And now I think with Dan Cote-Rose in there, he's someone who has moved to this community years ago, and I really, truly believe embraced it. And the fact that he's willing to partner, not just with City of Champs, but some others, is really good to see.
Yeah, totally. They've been great to work with, and really easy process, and been like, kind of just, here's the idea, here's the sample. Hey, cool. Let's roll with it. Let's get some in. We'll get them in the store. We'll get them on the concourse. We'll get them online, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, you saw a lot of those Oilers slow pitch jerseys in and around the city. I saw one the day they released.
Yeah.
Walking, like a guy put it on and walked out of the Oilers store when I was walking home.
It was a hit. So we like to do that again.
Okay, so that's cool. Great tease.
Yeah.
And then now Brandon's wearing a hat that I love, and you have been nice enough to hook me up with a few of these. I actually have a buddy in Chicago that saw me wearing one, and he's like, hey, I love this. What is that? And I told him about the 1914 Edmonton Eskimos baseball team and the history there. And he's like, can you get me one? And I'm like, I can ask. And you were nice enough to find you. I think you dug some out. And he has sent me photos of him at like Wrigley wearing.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Whatever Comiskey Park is called now. I know they changed the name again. But he loves the hat and the logo. And Brandon's wearing it right now. And you've put it on dad hats, you put it on snapbacks, flex fits.
Yeah.
But you got something similar, and you're working with another important franchise in the community potentially on this one.
Yeah, we've been kicking around another kind of collab with the Elks on this, and I'll explain sort of the tie. So it is the Edmonton Eskimos baseball team for 1914 for sure. That's where I found the original image of it. It's like the coolest old photo I've ever seen. It almost looks like it's fake. How cool the photo is with those hats, right?
Yeah.
But in my digging, Tommy, I found out that the first Grey Cup that the old Edmonton Eskimos won in 1954. When you look at the team photo, you see, I want to say it's assistant coach, maybe a trainer, but he's got the same hat.
Yeah.
Man. It's the same E logo that he's rocking. And I actually think in the year next to it, there's another image of saying that they're also wearing the hat when because they won again, right?
Yeah.
So we showed that to our friends at the Elks. Said, hey, this is pretty cool. How do we take that same logo that people love for the vintage baseball? Is there a chance we bring that back with you guys in some kind of collab? And they're like, that's a cool idea. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's work it out. So we're going to work with them and see if there's something we can do there and maybe make that, kind of a green and gold edition, which, yeah, you can think about how we're going to play with that, but I think could be really slick. And they got some good merch there and a few little collabs. I was there at the game on Thursday and they had those. Have you seen the hot dog shirts? They got the hot dog shirts.
I have seen the hot dog shirts.
We saw those and we had to get a bunch of them because we're grilling up juicy dogs at my tailgate spot. So cheese,
stop by on Friday.
bacon. We put a little bit of mustard on there. Whatever else you want to put on there is all good.
As long as it doesn't end up on my shirt on the broadcast.
Well, you gotta be. Well, that's not the only thing you gotta be careful about. You gotta be careful when people run at you. But you're quick these days. You're like a cat out there. So I don't think we can get you. Yeah.
I swear to God, Reed, my dad all I could hear was "watch out," and I'm like, I know that voice, and there he is, like shaking his head at me, like idiot. I juked when I should have jived. So my bad. But yeah, okay. So there we go.
There you go.
Very
Couple
cool.
teases. Yeah.
Excellent. Anything else you want to say about our sports teams? Because I know they're winding down the season for the Riverhawks. I think there's 6 home games remaining, and then you've been down at the ballpark. And Stingers have had an up and down year as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think all the sports teams in the summer, whether it's the Stingers, support them. People are supporting the Riverhawks, keep supporting them. The Elks, guys keep talking about it. Show up to games. The team's really good, right? The team's really good. Show up there. They need your support. We're a great sports city. We still are the city champions, even if we don't have the signs up, even if somebody might have put them up and they got taken down the next day. Don't worry about that. We are that, to support it. And we're a big sports city, and we actually need to show that. I mean, we're the number 1 sports city in Canada. We got ranked, we're in the, I think 22 across the country, right? I'm trying to get us in the top 20. Give me 6 more months and I'll probably get us there. But we're doing some cool stuff. I mean, I finally got my sports legacy motion pass. It's going to turn into in 2027. So anytime a large event happens here, they have to give some back to community, where it's equipment, infrastructure, programming, whatever it is. That's going to be built into. We're going to be the only city with that policy, right? And it's not taxpayer dollars, so don't come at me with that. It's going to come from rights holders, corporate sponsors, budgets already that we have. So they're doing some cool stuff. And I was with the Jays Care Foundation last night, and they announced $1.2 million. It was at the Confederation, the Cubs, and it's going to Baseball Alberta. Really? They're redoing ballparks. So as much as if you play the 50-50 on Blue Jays games and you're in Alberta, that money's got to stay in the province, right? So we're killing Ontario, the Atlantic provinces, because we just love our 50-50.
Yeah.
So keep playing 50-50. And the guys tell me, hey, if you keep doing this, Reed, keep telling, like, there's other ballparks that we want to revamp.
Okay.
So if you got your other ballparks around the city, I said, I got some ideas for you. Hit me up. Let me know, because we might be able to tap our friends at the Jays Care Foundation and get that done for you.
That is great to know that money has to stay in the province and gets distributed through our communities. And then if it helps refurbish ballparks in our city, that's fantastic. Hey, you're a big basketball guy.
Yeah.
One last thing for you. A couple days ago, the Alberta Basketball Hall of Fame unveiled its first members of its inaugural class. That came from our good buddy Brian Swain. Brian Swain, great, stats guy.
Stats, unreal.
I don't know how he digs that stuff up, but it's unbelievable. He's a big basketball guy as well. And no surprise, you've done stuff for this team as well. I think there was a legacy project, but the grads, Brian, obviously.
Well, you know what's so yesterday I was actually at the Grads park, and they have a little half court there.
Mhm.
So I was actually there with the mayor and Councillor Stevenson, and we put up a brand new rim and a brand new net just to kind of give that court a little bit of love. Because there's
Nice.
one of the residents who said like, "Hey, it's fallen in disrepair." So we actually did that as part of my Fresh Nets Foundation that still goes around and puts up nets all over the place. But the Grads got to get in the hall. They got to get
They're
in
in.
the actual Naismith Hall.
Oh, the Naismith Hall.
They're in the
Oh,
Alberta one. They're
yes.
in Canada. We got to get them in the Naismith Hall, right? So that's kind of one of the projects been working on. Been talking to the guys down in Springfield, Massachusetts, there, and trying to get them in. They've been on the ballot a few years, but we got to get them in. I mean, it's the best team that's ever played basketball in the history.
Yeah.
So, and that's not my words. That's coming from the inventor of the game, Dr. James Naismith. If he says the best team he's ever seen, I don't know how they don't get in the Naismith Hall of Fame. But, you know,
Make
that's a
that
story
one
for
make
another
sense.
day. Yeah.
Hey, great to see you. Thank you for this. This is unbelievable.
Hey, congratulations on the show.
Appreciate
it's been
that.
great.
Reed Clark, city councilor, and you can check out the stuff, cityofchamps.ca, right?
You got it.
Yeah. People are already asking, like, where can I get that hat and check out the gear? It's fantastic. Great to see you, Reed. We'll have to chat soon, okay? Maybe I'll see you on Friday. Pick up a Deucey dog.
Hey, come by the tailgate. We got a great spot. We're just serving up Deucey dogs for
love
free.
it. Yeah, that's the best. Free.
For free.
The price
for the
is right.
community.
That's
For the
right.
community.
One of us. That is Reed Clark, city councilor here in the Big E. We got to take a quick breather. More on the way right after this on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Want home ice advantage for your window coverings? Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and the fastest turnaround in the city for homeowners, builders, and commercial projects. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience? All Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All Star Construction on Indeed.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged, and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show. 60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$8:49. Good morning. You're listening to the Tom Gazzola Show on Sports 1440, brought to you by Bet365. Hey, if you want to go to, we were talking about the Elks. If you want to go to the Elks game this Friday, the weather should be good. I know there's a risk of rain basically every day and has been all summer long, which sucks, but, and we're dealing with flooding. We're talking about it on the Yellowhead and all that, but last Thursday, it was perfect conditions for a football game. Hopefully this Friday, things hold up down at Commonwealth, and it would be awesome to see a really nice crowd down there. And I know the team's trying its best to build its trust back with the fan base. Winning cures a lot of things. They are 4-1, looking to go 5-1, get a little bit of revenge on the BC Lions after the Lions handed the Elks their first loss of the season in Kelowna a couple of weeks ago. So we want to get you down to Commonwealth. Text us at 1-833-401-1440, the word Elks. That's it, Elks. And that enters you into a draw for a pair of tickets. And Brando, we've had people asking, we've had people getting in on it.
Yes.
And I don't know how much easier it can get.
No, it's free tickets. And we give away like several sets of them over the course of the week. It's not that you're trying to vie for just one pair. No, we're giving like at least a couple every day.
Yes.
So it's super easy. There's no skill testing question.
No.
You just text Elks to 1-833-401-1440. Then if you do get randomly selected as one of the winners, you'll get a text back from our promo team that they just ask you to send an email with your contact information, essentially, so they can send you the tickets. And it's that easy. And then, as Reed was just saying, listen, what's one of the things that people continue to push back on? It's like, well, even if the tickets are cheap, you still got to feed the family and stuff. Get there for the tailgate. Go grab a Doocy dog from RC and the rest of his crew. Free dogs. Can't beat it. And he said he's even got all the fixins down there, too. Which maybe this is a good of opportunity as any, Tom, to let you know that today is National Hot Dog Day.
And this is coming off of Mac and Cheese Day.
Well, what can I tell you? If there's anything I've learned of nearly 3 years of sitting in this chair, symbolically, it was a different chair before in the other studio, but behind these monitors, is that there will be another day this year where it's also like a different month. There'll be Hot Dog Month or something and Hot Dog Week. It just is like in constant rotation. And as somebody that's struggling at times to come up with some topics for in or out, I don't care. If I already said it was National Hot Dog Day or International Hot Dog Day in June, this page that I use comes up July 15th, National Hot Dog Day. I'm in. I'm in on hot dogs.
Get one at the turn on the golf course. Pork missile, tube steak.
Little pork missile, yeah. Glizzy. That's another one of the hip youth phrases for it.
I'll call it Glizzy Day. Yeah.
I was about to ask you a question, but you know what? I think I'll just save it and maybe we'll make it for in or out today.
Okay.
About your maybe preferences on hot dogs.
How to dress one up?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm okay
so
with
we'll like I said, this has been fun with you taking over the big chair. We get to like recycle so many questions we've asked in the past because let's be frank, Tom. With you joining the show, a lot of new listeners have come aboard as well that are big fans of you. And so we're allowed to rehash these topics even if Flemmer and I have talked about it before. We want to get to know you better, and we want to bust it down for maybe some of the new listeners that have come over too.
Happy to oblige. And great pun, by the way. Did you catch your own pun?
Maybe.
You said, I'll be frank.
Happy accident.
Look at
Happy accident.
Penny's giggling.
The there are some times when it's a happy accident, unlike when I text Keith Stewart every couple months in the summer and I ask him, are you free to come and tee up the Masters, the Open Championship, the PGA, the US Open, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm aware of those when I'm typing it out, and I feel pretty corny every time. I could just say preview, but come on, lean into it when the opportunity presents itself.
Own it.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that. I like this too. Grazer, the best glizzy at any golf course is Devon Golf Course. There's some good ones out there. And I'm not going to give away too much because if it's going to be part of in or out, I'll leave it for that. But I'm sure, like a donaire, to each their own, their favorite spot to get one in our fine city. Interesting, Aaron. I see your text. Maybe we'll get into that with Dave Schlemko asking about the Cutter Gauthier contract and some comments that were out there. Thank you for that text. Jay in Victoria, this kind of ties a couple of things together. Oh, and then you answered him, and it was good. Jay says, guys, I was watching Global, and the weather came on. They used to mention have the logo on game days, not a thing, or was rather disappointed. Just another reason the stands are empty. Well, and BD, Brandon, you point out, like you signed off BD on it. Did you see Fajardo and DeBlanco doing the weather? So funny. Yeah, they're still tied in with Global.
For sure.
Yeah.
And they do what they can. And I get what Jay's saying. And maybe there was more prevalence of it in years past and from teams of yesteryear. It's just kind of not the way it is anymore. But they do still try and integrate it. And they're obviously partners.
Yes.
If anybody has not seen the clips of Cody Fajardo and Joel DeBlanco doing the weather, was it last night or the night previous maybe? Laugh out loud funny. Cody's like, he's like, oh crap, I'm in the way of the graphic. He's like trying to move around on the green screen to get out of the way of what he's like, oh, it's gonna be windy. Quarterbacks hate wind. Yeah, there was some good laughs in there for sure.
Those guys are great. I'll have a chance to chat with Fajardo later today, getting ready for Friday's game. DeBlanco, excellent to talk to. Those guys get it, man. And I think they understand the situation that has devolved in Edmonton with the CFL franchise, and now it's on the up and up again, which is great. People care about the team, man. People care. It's just, I think the trust is being rebuilt, and this team so far is doing a good job of pushing that process forward. Okay. Anything else? I'm just looking. I love how when you bring up civic infrastructure, people want to get in on it.
Suddenly everyone's an expert again.
This is a sports show, damn it. But you know what? We're providing information as well because people are probably making their way to work or driving around or going somewhere. Yeah, they get all in on it. Sean's like, didn't the city spend like $1 billion renovating the Yellowhead? Now it's flooding. Sounds like they should be getting a refund from the developer. LOL.
Isn't that still ongoing though? So maybe the part that's flooding, they just haven't got to that part yet.
I mistakenly took the Yellowhead a couple months ago. I'm like, what am I doing? This is not right. This is a construction zone for like
in perpetuity. Essentially. I would take it. I played at I didn't play a drop-in type skate with Andrew Walker and some of his cronies at Nate Arena on Tuesday nights last year. Really nice rink. Yeah. They only need me because I own goalie equipment, so they'd asked me to come and strap the pads on. And I would sit in that traffic on Tuesday nights, and I was like, there has to be a better way for me to get down here, but there isn't really because everyone else has the same idea. So then 118th is equally as backed up and slow moving. Yep. It's just reality. Hey, that's how it is. Construction. Believe it. Edmonton is not the only place that this is happening, even if it feels like it sometimes.
No, man. Like Calgary last year with the water thing, like not flood water, but like the water system. I remember talking to my brother down there, and he's like, "This is weird." And speaking of that, Ben Dangle says water is undefeated. Yes, it's a powerful force. That's for damn sure. And then Huss says, where does LeBron end up? We can end the segment on this. He would fit great with the Warriors. Husks, I thought Cleveland was looking to get him again. And didn't he say he was willing to take a minimum contract to pick his next destination? I would imagine it has to be somewhere where he thinks he can win.
Yeah. Go to the Dub. That's my land.
The Olden State Warriors.
The Olden State Warriors.
No, I'm on the Cleveland train. I have been kind of since, and I think this goes back even to before the season ended. We talked about it plenty of times. It's like I don't think he's gonna be back to the Lakers. We now know that's the case. It just makes too much sense to go and finish in Cleveland.
It makes too much sense. I agree.
Does he
that's
fit with
storybook?
Does he fit with what the team looks like? Maybe a little bit less so than some other spots, but it's too good. It's too good to pass up.
A lot of Miami talk for LeBron going back to
again.
South Beach for a year. Now that they have Giannis, that becomes a contender. Maybe the Knicks, but the New York Knicks think they're going to get everybody. Knicks fans, I guess, think they're going to get everybody. Or depending on how long it takes for this Kawhi thing to go through, LeBronto, full stop, for real.
God,
there's just simply too many options.
And the Kawhi thing, there was an update today saying like they need to finish that investigation before anything, obviously.
And I think they open a new investigation. Thank you to Adam Silver and the NBA Board of Governors for taking as long as possible on this.
Husk says Harden and LeBron would be a mess. And then I'll give Matt at the Garrison the last say on this one because we'll have some Glizzy talk in a bit. I'm looking forward to it. Says, I'd have to disagree with Grazer. The best Glizzies are at the Garrison. Matt at the Garrison. Great, of course, to go and visit Matt at the Garrison up on the north side where I grew up. All right. Great. Hour number 2. We need a Sports 1440 update before we get into hour number 3. This one brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about it, you want to buy or sell a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. Here's Brandon.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Breaking news out of the NHL this morning. The Detroit Red Wings announcing that Steve Yzerman moving out of his role as general manager and will take on a new spot as senior advisor to governor and CEO of the team, Chris Ilitch. Team opening a search for the new head of hockey operations. Both internal and external candidates will be considered. Anthony Mantha has landed with his next team, signing in New Jersey on a 2-year deal, carrying a cap hit of $4.75 million annually. Mantha coming off a bounce-back season where he scored 33 goals, 64 points in 81 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins. World Cup semifinal action yesterday afternoon. Spain blanking France 2-0 to advance through to Sunday's final. And MLB All-Star game going last night from Philadelphia. The American League blanking the National League 4-0. Blue Jays starter ace Dylan Cease picks up the win in the victory. Miguel Vargas homered in the effort, and Cody Bellinger taking home MVP. In the WNBA, Toronto Tempo fall last night to the Mystics 79-62, and in an afternoon affair, the Sun topped the Fire 90-87. Coming up in hour 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined from Emma Lingen from the Hockey News, as well as our Wednesday co-host, former NHL defenseman David Schlemko. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
No! Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots business.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Hour number 3 of the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. Here we go, baby. For the first time, Dave Schlemko in studio, which is great. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Tom. How are you doing, buddy?
We're doing good. Dave is powered by Cougar Paint and Collision. Cougar Paint and Collision, where family service and pride have earned customer trust for decades. CougarCollision.com. Shout out to Gord Dick and the entire family out there. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, buddy. It's good to be back. It's been a little while. I was on the shelf there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. The wisdom teeth thing, like that was something that like I had 3.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was 19 when I got the bottom 2 taken out. And I had my dentist, like I didn't get put out. I was awake for it.
Oh, really?
And
he sounds horrible.
Like cracking and breaking them. And I'm like, what is going on? And like there's blood splattering everywhere. And then a couple years later, 1 came in up top, but it was tiny, and the dentist just popped it out. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
not your experience.
My experience was much worse.
Go on.
So yeah, like the surgeon, I guess, he was like, yeah, normally you should get this done like 17 to 20, like your range, because the nerves are kind of only half grown in. So,
Yeah.
So I guess mine were fully grown in. I had all 4 taken out, so they put me under, and the recovery was long, man.
Yeah.
It's longer than I thought. Like,
Yeah.
I'm almost coming up on 2 weeks here and just starting to like enjoy eating again.
Good.
So it's
Eating's
been
important.
It's been a battle.
Well, here you are. You're
back, baby.
You're fighting through it. And yeah, you're back. You're ready to go. I'm glad you're here. I was excited about last week, and then Brandon filled me in on what was going on. I'm like, oh, okay, that is a tough go, because once they're impacted, as I was told, it's a battle and takes some time. So you're here, and we're rocking and rolling. Okay, you're a Northsider as well.
You bet.
I grew up. You and I have a lot of mutual friends,
right?
And I grew up in Londonderry, and then we moved to Hollow Canyon when I was 11.
Okay.
Where were you growing up?
I grew up in Fraser in Clairview.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I dated a girl that lived in Hollick Canyon, actually. So I was in Hollick Canyon a lot.
It's a good community.
Like junior high school.
Yeah. I probably knew her.
Yeah. So went to Fraser, went to Steel Heights junior high. So actually know lots of people in that area.
Park area. Yeah.
That was the north side. Then went to East Glen. So I got the north side pretty covered.
Yeah. Between the two of us, we kind of know a lot of people on the north side. And as Cam Moon, who's the Oilers play-by-play guy on the radio side, would say, one of us.
One of us.
That's
Love
right.
that.
But you played KC, right?
I did. I moved over in Pee Wee. So I started in the north side. I never played for MLAC, but I played for like North Stars,
No, that's
Braves, Eagles, all those teams. And then I went in Pee Wee to play for like my summer hockey coach.
Yeah.
Kind of I guess we made like a super team before like the super teams were a thing.
You guys did have good teams, even because you were up with Dan Waschuk and and then Cale Mulrat.
Mulrat was there. Dustin
Rat.
Cohn. Yeah, we had a really good team for like minor hockey back in the day.
Who's the little guy? Alex Magera? Was he on your team?
He was a couple years older than me, so
Okay.
I think I only played with him like Mitch at AAA, but he was a great little
He
player.
was. Yeah, he was a feisty little guy.
I think him and Belzy are the same age.
Yeah, because Belzy and I, Belzy's 9 months older than me, but we played against each other.
Okay.
I went to MLAC. And
Yeah.
there was some good experiences and some not so good experiences.
So they're pretty good. I think when I was around, that Fisty was patrolling the blue
on
line.
the team, yeah.
Just eating people up for lunch.
Well, for him, that wasn't hard. I mean, him and I grew up playing together, and then we had Shannon Zabados. I bounced between the AA and the AAA teams.
Okay, yeah.
And my second year Bantam, I ended up on the AA team, but played a lot. Like basically the first game or two, I got called up. They're like, "Yeah, you're gonna be called up a lot because it was a bad team."
A lot of losses.
A lot of losses. A lot of bad players that shouldn't have been on that team were on that team. So
But you played AAA, bro.
yeah, sweet, bro. Like I would have made it 4 glorious years in the jungle with the Edmonton Red Wings. Shout out to Wally Course. But yeah, this is great. And I think the last time like you and I, maybe we've crossed paths in the summer and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like when you used to work for the Oilers, like I was joking with Brandon last night. I was like, I don't think I've ever talked to Tom like sober. I've only seen him like out at the bars and stuff. They're mutual friends.
Yeah. I think I came and bothered you when you were with the Coyotes one time. And it was one of my first years at Oilers TV. And we were in the old dressing room at jobbing.com.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like, obviously, there was the turmoil with ownership and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. Well, I remember I'm like, Dave, like I said, hey, I'm Tom, like, you know, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah. And I was like, are you guys worried at all about moving? And you're like, every day. Every day.
You had to watch what you said back then. I remember Donor got in big hot water for saying like, you know, well, we don't want to move to Winnipeg. We want to stay.
He
where
made the
it's
move
nice.
from Winnipeg.
Right.
Oh, it was such a good, it seemed like such a good setup. I mean, I know a lot of guys were probably in Scottsdale.
Everyone was.
Yeah. And to make the drive over to Glendale, that's long. And like,
It is, but I mean, you got a half an hour drive in plenty of cities.
That's a good
You
point.
know, where guys live from the game rink. Like we had the practice rink in Scottsdale. It was 5 minutes from everybody.
That one's nice.
So that was great. Just the rink was in the wrong spot, the wrong market.
Yeah, that is true. One game, we switched. There was a different coach. You know how the coaches have their favorite hotels?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say which coach, but this coach decided to move us from the Renaissance right next door from Gila River, jobbing.com, whatever it was called at the time. And we were at the Phoenician.
Oh, yeah. Camelback.
Oh, really nice.
Playing some golf.
Oh, a lot of golf happening there. Very, very comfortable out there. But we left an hour earlier than usual, both buses, media and players. And we still, the 303 was so backed up. It took almost 2.5 hours to get there.
Oh my God.
15 minutes before warm up. Team gets in there. Brad Harrison, Jeff Lang, and the equipment guys and the rest of the staff were like, where the hell were you guys?
That's great.
We're like, oh, Phoenician. Great
Yeah.
hotel.
I mean, you know, before Vegas came into the league and the Vegas flu was kind of a thing, that was kind of a thing in Phoenix. You know, everyone had their dad's trip there. They'd fly parents, families out. Everyone would, even if there wasn't a dad's trip, you'd still book a couple extra days. You'd have a little golf thing. So, you know, before they started trying to unload everything and just sell off everything. Maloney. We actually had pretty good teams there for a few years with Tip. You know, we were a perennial playoff team, and we had a great home record, and I think that had a lot to do with it.
Conference final in 12-13, right?
Yeah, 2012, I believe. We lost to the Kings.
Yeah.
Conference final. That was as close as I ever got.
It's still pretty good. It's better than most people.
Yeah, no, it's good. Good ride.
Yeah. Do you think that if they put a rink in Scottsdale, it would be able to survive?
Oh,
and
100%. Thrive. Yeah, thrive. I think all the more white collar kind of hockey fans are Scottsdale, Mesa, Chandler, kind of that Northeast Valley. And I mean, Glendale's minimum 30 minutes from all that, more like an hour. No one from Mesa wants to drive an hour on a Tuesday night to watch the Blue Jackets.
That's fair. Like
Right?
here, that's a fair point. We had a place, our family place was in Peoria, and even sometimes to go from Peoria to Glendale was a bit of a hike.
It's just the next one up from Scottsdale down the 101, right? So
Exactly.
5 minutes less.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always curious. I mean, we're hearing about like expansion in the NHL, and Arizona's coming up again. I'm like, oh, like that wound is still healing, I think. And
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of maybe a bad reputation kind of in the hockey world.
Yeah.
But I mean, you talk to any players that played there, everyone loves playing there.
It's very comfortable.
Like not many places it's sunny every day. It never rains.
No.
Going to the rink in shorts and flip flops every day. Coming back from a road trip in the winter and jumping in your pool. Like those things matter, man.
Hang on, because I remember coming back from road trips and having a half foot of snow that needed to be brushed off at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
There's that.
Where was your favorite stop in the league?
My favorite place to live was Arizona.
Yeah.
Definitely. My favorite team I played on was probably my year with the Sharks. No, we actually end up losing to the Oilers in the first round. We had
17.
some injury trouble, but that was definitely the best team I ever played on.
Yeah.
Just legends, right? Jumbo, Patty Marr, Pavelski, Burnsy. It was
Couture.
yeah, Cooch. It was an awesome team to be a part of.
Hey, does it surprise you when you hear people talk about like Joe Pavelski being in the running for an NHL head coaching job, or no?
No.
Why? Tell me why. Tell me about him.
I guess it kind of just came randomly into the media, but he's one of the most well-respected guys in the game.
Yeah.
He's like, not only is he like a great leader, but he's just like one of those good guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That everybody likes. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would be surprised to see him start as head coach of the Maple Leafs.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see him get into coaching and kind of work his way up eventually.
Yeah, so I found that interesting. I mean, the Maple Leafs are doing stuff very differently.
Yeah, they're doing some weird things.
They certainly are, Dave.
They said they were going to. I mean, they got Chaik at the helm. So
Was Chaik, did you guys cross paths? Was he, or no, Don Maloney was
it's hard to remember, man. He might have been there briefly when I was there. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But there was him. There was like the New Jersey businessman. There was another guy that came in. It was a mess when I was there.
Oh, I know. And I would like, listen, the setup was great. The rink was great. The PR staff were fantastic.
Yep.
Rich Nairn, and you would have had Greg Dillard too at the time, right?
I only had Rich. I never had. Oh, actually, no, we had Greg too.
Did you have Chris Wojcik as well?
Yep.
Woj is with the league. He's a big deal now.
Is he?
Yes. Oh yeah. He's like major events, cup
Really?
finals, conference finals.
Wow.
He's hilarious.
Good for him. He was the young pup.
He was, but Belsey and I made sure he was well taken care of when he was here in town for like the Stanley Cup final.
Nice.
Whatever bar he wanted to go to, we would try to help him out as much as possible. And
That's great.
and
He's a
he-
great guy.
He is. And whenever he needed to blow off steam, we're like, okay, Woj, who do we call for you?
That's great.
So anyway, yeah, it's funny because a lot of good people came out of that Coyotes organization, and it became, unfortunately, the desert wasteland of the NHL when it shouldn't have.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Oh well.
onwards and upwards in Utah. Are you glad? that
I'm
at least it's
happy
good?
to see those guys in Utah and
Yeah.
see them thriving. Yes, absolutely. It's sad to see that there's no team in Phoenix. I hope that they come back.
Mm.
But I mean, for a guy like Dylan Gunther, who I knew from NAX, you work that hard your whole life to be a first round draft pick, and then all of a sudden you're getting dressed out of your bag at Mullet Arena. I mean,
That's weird.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm happy for guys like that they got to go to a real NHL market, play in a full building, and the team has money. They got a practice. They just built an unbelievable practice facility. I mean, when I was in Phoenix, we were working out at the public gym with like civilians.
Really?
Yeah.
Like out at the ice den?
Yeah.
Like I know it's like right across the parking. I know exactly which one you're talking about. But,
Yeah, we were in that gym just with like regular people.
Oh, I mean, not to knock regular people, and I know there's like a hockey community around that area too.
Well, like you wouldn't be able to do that in a hockey market, right? It'd be insane.
Yeah, exactly. I did not know that. I thought that there was a gym in the ice den for you guys, but
It's in the building, but it's just
you have to go across.
It's for everybody.
That's right.
That's the way it was when I was there. Anyway, maybe it's changed now.
No, I do hockey schools there. I haven't done one in a year or two, but I would go down there, and that's what we would use was the ice den, and then there would be the NHL guys that live in the Phoenix and Scottsdale area that would practice on one side.
Yep.
Austin Matthews. We saw Phil the Thrill Kessel
Nice.
still skating, even though we thought he was done. Michael Kesselring was there, and a bunch of other guys.
Cool.
I think Tage Thompson was out there. So there's guys that are there that use it. And I was like, this is a great facility. But to know that it was just the public gym that you guys had to use is kind of like, that's not quote unquote NHL.
That's not National League, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things happening that weren't really National League.
That's true. Well, you went on to some better franchises and played a bunch more years. And now you're here with me and Brando and Fenny. And I'm glad that we can kind of rekindle and discuss stuff like that. I think we're going to have some fun. Look at that. We burned 20 minutes already.
Look at us go, buddy.
Dave Schlemko in studio, co-hosted today here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. Dave is powered by Cougar Paint Collision. We're going to step out for a quick breather. When we come back, Emma Lingen from the Hockey News to talk the Preds and some other things right here on Sports 1440.
Looking for auto repair with something extra? Cougar Paint and Collision is ready to help.
We don't always work on your everyday cars. Lots of times there's stuff that's out of the ordinary. You know, it feels good when people phone and they ask for advice on what's the best way to do something, or even if they stop in just even to see if their car's worth fixing or not. Giving them advice and help along the way on how to fix their cars, kind of good.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
No! Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? No, my My right eye is switching, Dan.
Bet 365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show. Oiler insider and Jersey aficionado. Edmonton's sports leader. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
$9:24. Good morning. It's the Tom Gazzola Show right here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Bet365. Dave Schlemko in studio. We've got Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and if you want to join the conversation, text us 1-833-401-1440. Hop in on the chat if you're on YouTube watching, and we want to hear from you. All right, we need to talk a little puck. I know it's the dead of summer, but there's been news going on in the hockey world. We had some drop today, and we're going to focus in on Nashville. We'll go league-wide as well with Emma Lingen from the Hockey News out in Nashville. And first of all, good morning, Emma. Thanks for hopping on today. We really appreciate it. And it's been a busy offseason for the Preds. I know, they've had some tough years here. One playoff appearance in 4 years. And Chris McFarland gets plucked out of Colorado. How big of a coup was that for the Preds, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, good morning to you guys. Thank you again for having me on. And that was a major coup for Nashville.
Yeah.
I think that it was unexpected. Even myself, being in Nashville, when the rumors kind of started to circulate, a lot of us kind of brushed it off and said, yeah, okay, there's no way he's leaving Colorado. And apparently, now we know that Colorado had made an offer for him to stay. And Nashville upped the ante. They really wanted to keep him. So it's been great so far. I had long been a proponent of Nashville needing to look outside the house, look outside the family for their next head of hockey ops. And I think that this was a really good move. They need someone to come in with objective eyes and kind of take stock of everything they have. They're not just at the NHL level, but in the farm system as well. And I think the moves that he's made so far have been really positive.
Awesome. Do you think he's kind of left his mark going into training camp here, or do you see some more moves on the horizon?
Definitely see some more moves. I think he sort of alluded to that. We talked to him at the start of free agency, and we asked him, we said, any more moves coming? And he kind of had that sly smirk and said, maybe, which to me says yes. So I think that, I had talked to people around the league, former and current players who had worked with him or played on his teams in Colorado. And one of the words that came up a lot when describing him was objective. And I think that that's exactly what Nashville needs. I think that they need someone who is going to, maybe broach that conversation of moving on from maybe one of those veteran players, guys that you think that maybe they wouldn't ever dream of moving on from. But I think you need to kind of have that fresh set of eyes looking at this team. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if there are some more moves.
Emma, they brought Barry Trotz back a few years ago, and obviously that went sideways. And I'm sure there was excitement because of his deep history with the Preds going all the way back to the beginning. But Barry Trotz, the GM, running the team, why did it go sideways in your opinion?
Yeah, I think Barry Trotz, the GM, was in over his head a little bit. And he himself admitted as much, that it was a much bigger step, a much bigger undertaking than I think he was prepared for. I think that other GMs and other execs around the league that was very evident to them. And I think that they kind of started to that idea, that mindset started circulating where people started saying, yeah, I think Barry might be in over his head a little bit here. And it just became obvious with some of the moves that he made. My personal opinion, I think he managed a little bit too much like a coach, I think, which is understandable. I mean, he was a coach for his entire career, but I think he was a little too reactive with some of his moves that he made. It was like identifying an issue or a problem immediately and let's solve it immediately. And I think he struggled a little bit with looking in sort of that 5-year, 10-year window that you kind of have to use when you're a general manager. And he was more focused on the here and now. And I think there were certain circumstances where I felt like he was maybe a little bit, I don't want to say too concerned with making his players happy, but I think, sometimes the desires of the players came over the needs of the business, which in certain cases, that's not a bad thing. But I think, sometimes you got to know when to draw that line. So, for Barry Trotz, his legacy in Nashville is never going to change as far as what he meant to the city and the organization as a coach. Obviously helped put hockey on the map here in Nashville, help with the Predators on the map in the hockey world. But I think he definitely will be remembered more fondly as a coach than as a GM.
For sure. I just want to follow up on one of your earlier comments of, maybe Chris moving one of these seemingly untouchable veterans. So you got the addition of Maverick Bourque, Luke Evangelista, probably trying to move up into the top 6. So who do you think would be on the move?
In terms of who I think would be on the move this offseason, I am not entirely sure. I mean, we've already seen him move on from a couple guys like Fedor Svechkov and Zach LaRue, who were former first-round picks. So I think that surprised some people. But I think in terms of veterans who could be on the move sooner, I mean, I'm looking at like a Jonathan Marchessault,
right.
Because with the additions that they've made now, it's hard to imagine Marchessault being in the top 6. I mean, in any kind of, mock-up of a lineup that you do now, he's on the third line and you're not paying him to be on the third line. And I imagine he doesn't want to be on the third line. So I think that is, the first name I'm looking at, maybe not necessarily this off season, but maybe looking ahead. A guy like Ryan O'Reilly was someone that Barry Trotz was treating as if he had that trade protection in his contract, which he doesn't. And so I think that he could be a guy, obviously has been a guy whose name has come up at the deadline the last couple of years. He would be a very valuable asset. So I could see them potentially, no longer treating him with that same kind of trade protection that he doesn't actually have when it comes to the deadline. And then, in the next year or two, I mean, it might be time to have that conversation about Roman Josi. Does he want to win a cup? Does he want to go somewhere else? Of course, that's going to be up to him because he actually does have trade protection. But, I'm not saying for sure that he'll be moved, but I think those are the kinds of conversations that previously under Barry Trotz and under David Poile, those conversations wouldn't have even happened. Now I think they're at least going to happen.
Emma Lingen joining us now from the Hockey News, covering the Preds and, of course, the league as a whole, sticking with the Predators. And we're talking about moves and players. And I'm glad you brought that up, Schlemmer, because some new guys coming to town, some young blood, Maverick Bourque, Ross Colton, Jack Drury, Alex Kerfoot's been around for a little while, Ilya Bushkin. A lot of new names, a lot of new faces around there, Emma. And which one or two, maybe even more of these guys are Preds fans excited about, should be excited about, and could be pillars of the team going forward as they look to become a playoff contender every year again?
Well, I think it's obvious you got to look at the two guys who they signed to those longer contract extensions. That would be Maverick Bourque and Jack Drury. Bourque especially is, tremendous upside offensively. I think he's the kind of offensive skill that this team doesn't currently have and could definitely use more of. I know he's a natural center, has been playing on the wing with Dallas. So I'm interested to see where they're going to have him playing and, where he's going to be most successful. And then, Drury as well. So before I was in Nashville, I covered Carolina. And so I saw the beginning of Jack Drury's career in Carolina. And I think he's capable of a lot more than the role he was being used in Colorado. I mean, he's not a 4C, but he was a 4C on a very deep Colorado team. So I think that now he gets a bigger opportunity to show what he can do. He'll be a 3C easily in Nashville. And I think both of these cases, were just master classes by Chris McFarland, because not only did he take advantage of cap crunches for both of those teams, but they were both division rivals. I mean, that's a huge bit of business, I think, for him to look at these other teams and say, okay, well, Dallas is under a cap crunch. They need to clear some money because they want to try to keep Jason Robertson. And then Colorado, they are going to owe Drury a pay raise, but you can't pay a 4C that much money. So in both cases, they were able to, take on a little bit more, and, getting Lyubushkin, I think, is a serviceable bottom pairing defenseman. And I think that you only have him for 1 year anyway. So I think that is, just really good business by Chris McFarland in both cases.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Jack Drury. I think he touches so many areas of the game. Super underrated. Anyways, moving around the league a little bit, I wanted to know what you make of my old teammate Keith Yandel, I think, mentioned yesterday. He's hearing whispers that Cutter Gauthier will not take $1 less than $18 million.
I'm not surprised after the Leo Carlson situation. I mean, I think that Pat Verbeek kind of backed himself into a corner with all of this. Yep. With all of the offer sheet drama, people saying, "Oh, are you surprised that Anaheim matched the offer sheet?" Well, no, of course not. They had to. They didn't have a choice, right? So yep. I think that the lesson to be learned from all of this is that you don't wait until that last season. You don't wait until that last year. Should have signed Carlson last year to an extension. You should have gotten that done. You shouldn't have let it get to this point. And I think that's going to be, a similar situation for guys like Gauthier. And then, I look at other guys like Macklin Celebrini. I don't think they will let him get to that point, but I think that in general, looking at those young talents, I hope that other teams are looking at this as a lesson. Like, yeah, this is going to reset the market. If it hasn't already, it's going to, unless teams start being smarter about how and when they look to extend these young players.
Yeah, that is very well said. I have had the good fortune of traveling around the National Hockey League when I was with the Oilers and doing Oilers TV. Schlemmer obviously played in the league for a lot of time. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time in Nashville. Schlemmer, I'm sure you had some fun there.
A couple of good nights.
Yeah, I don't think I ever left that city without a headache. Now, one thing about Nashville is it was like a city on the rise, and I think it was one of the fastest growing in the U.S. And there were so many new buildings, and the conference center, and the Nashville All-Star Game was tremendous. But Bridgestone Arena is getting a facelift now, and I think that's supposed to get going. Where are we at with that? I'm just oddly curious. I'm a dork for arena and stadium construction. I readily admit that.
That was my first NHL game.
Hey, see, there you go. Bring it home.
Yeah, you're definitely not the only one to leave Nashville with a headache. Definitely, they'll get you. Yeah, they'll get you every time. And it is a rapidly growing city. And I say this, a lot of the locals, we get annoyed about it, but I'm part of the problem. I'm a transplant too. I'm not from here. So I think a lot of us that are bemoaning how fast it's growing are definitely contributing to it. But yeah, the Bridgestone renovation, I think is much needed. I mean, Bridgestone still, it holds up well, considering how old it is, but I think that it'll be really exciting. I think that the whole project is a at the end of the day is going to be a $750 million transformation. It's going to be, I think it's supposed to be fully completed by 2030. The size of the venue is going to expand by I want to say it's 150,000 square feet, maybe 175,000 square feet. Don't quote me on that, but it's around there. They're trying to, because one of the biggest selling points of Bridgestone Arena is that it is right on Broadway, right? It's a prime location. So the whole view of this project, I think, is to kind of integrate the facility more with Lower Broadway. And, they're going to make it all glass walls. They're going to add rooftop bars. There's going to be a bigger outdoor plaza. And that, it's going to be a massive project. I think for now, though, I would say like the less sexy part of the renovation is what's going on right now. So phase 1, which is where they're at now, they're adding new escalators at the Lower Broadway entrance or the South Broadway entrance. I think they're building a bigger box office, and they're adding like upgraded security screening, I think, at the entrances. So that's like the less sexy version of what's happening, at least in the early stages. But by the time it's all done, this is going to be a pretty dramatic renovation.
So I got a question. What's going to happen down at event level on the walls where all these bands have like signed the walls for years? Are they going to paint over that, or what's going to happen with that?
I can't imagine. I mean, so Bridgestone Arena still has the big, the rehearsal hall in that bottom space. And again, I know from, if you've played in the league, you've played in Nashville, a lot of times whenever that space wasn't being used, that was where the visiting team would go play two-touch or do their stretching or whatever. But it is a state-of-the-art rehearsal hall that artists come in and they rent it out and they use it all the time. When I was first, because I used to work for the Predators and I used to travel around with the team. And one of my first days on the job, I got lost in the bowels of Bridgestone Arena, ended up running into Morgan Wallen. Did not know who he was at the time. Someone had to tell me who he was, but I think, it just goes to show there's always artists down there. They're always going to keep that integration with the city, because I think first and foremost, it's a concert venue. And I think that, they've already done a lot of renovations to the walls in the home locker room space. It's completely new. They put up like marquee lettering and neon signs in there. It looks really cool. So they'll definitely still keep that, that connection to Music City, though.
It's a pretty neat, very unique space, that's for sure. Okay, let's bring it home with some baseball, because you do cover baseball as well. What did you think of the All-Star game and All-Star festivities the last couple of days?
The Derby was fantastic, but Netflix should never be allowed to broadcast it again. The Derby itself was great. Like, the new rules were great. It actually came down to the final swing. I mean, it was actually very entertaining, very exciting. The broadcast was terrible, unfortunately, but that's that. The game itself was a bit of a snooze. The MVP, if this tells you anything, I mean, the MVP was Cody Bellinger. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI single, and that was enough to get MVP. So it was not much of a game, I don't think, but it's all about the production value, I think. I think Netflix definitely left a lot to be desired in that regard, but I'm all for the updated rules on the Derby. That they should keep doing it that way.
Great finish to the Derby for sure. Hey, very candid and honest. We like those types of responses, Emma. That was awesome. Hey, thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. I look forward to having you on again, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Emma Lingen from the Hockey News, covering the Nashville Predators and the league and the MLB. If you check out her body of work, it is robust. Yes. And impressive. So good stuff from Emma. We got to take a quick breather. When we come back, in or out with the Duke, right here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hello, Edmonton. Did you know the Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS Top Safety Pick Award or higher for 20 years running? With advanced eyesight driver assist technology, 360-degree surround view monitor, driver-focused technology, and of course, the legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, all working together. And it's available as a hybrid, delivering fuel efficiency as low as 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Visit your nearest Subaru dealer and test drive the Subaru Forester today. Welcome to Uncommon.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
'The Tom Gazzola Show' on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$9:46. Time to get to In or Out with Brandon. Brought to you by Pro Solutions. Need fast AC service? Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca. Schlummer and I will play along, and Fenny's around.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Earlier on this morning, the Detroit Red Wings making some waves. Major change, promo firing Steve Yzerman to now senior advisor to the team's governor and CEO, Chris Ilitch, opening the search for a new GM and or president of hockey operations for the club. I'm sizing this up, outside looking in, where the Red Wings are at, and more importantly, where they failed to go under the Yzerman regime. I think they would be better suited to turn over a new leaf, hire a fresh and new name, not a retread guy to steer the ship moving forward.
Dave?
Yeah, I'm going to be in on that with you, Duke. How long has he been around? 5, 6 years? 7, maybe?
More now.
They haven't made the playoffs, so obviously the Stevie Y plan ain't working. I think it'd be nice to get a little fresh blood in there. Turn over a new leaf, like you said, get some excitement going.
Yeah, I'm in as well. I mentioned Sean Horkoff might be kicking around, something like that. Somebody brought up Chris Draper earlier in the show.
Hork's been there a while.
Yeah. So,
I talked to him right when I first retired. I was looking to get into player development, and he was there with the Wings and was just moving up to player personnel, I think.
Yeah.
So this would have been like 5-6 years ago. I bet he's getting closer.
what do you think of a guy when things have not been that good, kind of waiting in the wings, and there might be an appetite to go outside the organization? That could be tricky.
See, that's got to be tough for him,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I guess you got to go in there and fight for yourself.
I think he was the type of guy that probably would.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Okay, so we're both in on that.
Yzerman been in the role since 2019, failing to make the playoffs during that entirety of the tenure, and the Red Wings' overall playoff-less streak has now hit 10 seasons, which is the longest drought in the league. Currently,
That's insane,
currently
man.
active.
Like they made the playoffs like my whole life. I feel like
25 straight years prior to 2016.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
So it's a weird time. And I mean, we kind of broke it down a little earlier in the show, Tom. Like it just seemed like this was becoming an inevitability that they're never going to fire him. He gets such a long leash. And if he wasn't Steve Yzerman, he probably would have been fired at least a year ago, maybe even longer back. And so now he just gets the elevation. He probably still takes home a pretty comfortable paycheck, and he gets to have the owner's ear and all that jazz and probably have some input, but his hand's no longer on the main controls for the organization. Interesting to see where they go with the hire.
Real quick, and this isn't the only organization that has an owner that is infatuated, enamored, in love with a certain person. Think back to Charles Wang and Garth Snow. We just saw Kevin Adams get let go in Buffalo, and look what happened after he was finally terminated, and he was tight with the Pagulas. So this type of thing is not new to the NHL and pro sports.
Every once in a while, they remind you that it's a business.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And the Wings as an organization, attention obviously turns to getting the new man for the job, but it also maybe changes or could change what they're going to do with Captain Dylan Larkin, who is still has the trade request out. He expanded his list to 4 teams. Doesn't really seem like any of those 4 teams are in a position to acquire Dylan Larkin at this point in time. So despite a new face voice at the top, I still think he's going to be playing somewhere else next season, and this won't exactly change his mind about the direction of the organization and wanting to now apply his trade elsewhere.
Well, this is going to be a hopeful one for me, but I'm out. I hope that he has to stay in Detroit and be miserable. I don't know what it is. It seems like a young American player trend, but the loyalty seems to be gone. The gratitude for being in the league on any NHL team seems to be gone. It's another young American Cutter Gauthier saying, I'm not taking $1 under 18 million. Whether that's true or not, just started to notice a little bit of a pattern that I'm not a huge fan of anyway.
It is troubling, and I'm choosing my words carefully here, but it seems to be coming from a certain type of player, generation of player, maybe where they come from. But yeah, I'll go in because maybe the damage is too far gone between him and the Wings. But like Dave brought up, I would be willing to go out if he really loves the Red Wings, being a Michigan guy, being the captain. And if Yzerman was the essence of his problems, then I would understand.
Maybe there's a new vision.
Yeah. And some guys, that's what they need to hear is someone that they can trust. And when you have trust, that goes a long way. But good point about how some guys now kind of control where they play.
Do you think Larkin played with Draper? If he ended up getting the job, they would have been pretty close. So I played against Draper.
Maybe there was some crossover because Larkin was on the last team to make the playoffs for the Wings.
So maybe there might be something there.
Yeah. Interesting. We'd have to look into that. But
Larkin's first season was 2015-16.
Oh, well, maybe not then.
Yeah. I think that might have been a little too.
I had just missed them.
Okay. Yeah, because Draper started in like the late 80s, early 90s with Winnipeg, I think.
Yeah. I remember I played against Draper my first year in the league, and playoffs would have been like 2011, but he was probably done pretty quickly after that.
Yeah.
I just look at it and I see like, sure, it's going to be a new GM and maybe has a new vision, but how like we see the Red Wings and we're like, this is like the way Yzerman has built them. It just doesn't really seem like a turnaround can happen very quickly. So if Larkin's frustration is the lack of team success, or is it more with just Yzerman himself? I guess that's the $1 million question right now, because the team, I can't see them in like an increasingly competitive Atlantic Division, Eastern Conference, like even some teams in the Metro, like look at how much better Washington got. Like,
yeah,
I look at this right now in the middle of July and say, I don't think they're a playoff team next year.
That's fair.
They've got a ton, like Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider, unreal, and they've got a pretty rock solid prospect pool still as well, with guys at all positions, including back in goal with Trey Augustine coming up. So like the future's bright. Do you say to Larkin, who's now 29 years old, and say, all right, you don't want to be here, that's fine, we'll recoup whatever assets we're able to and kind of not rebuild, but retool here on the fly and just move forward with a fresh look, like the new GM, gonna have a new captain that would likely accompany Larkin's departure, of course, as well, and almost give like a facelift for the entire team and hand the reins fully over to the Raymonds and the Seider types. So it's
still got to find a team he's willing to go to. I
still can't, like, is it just Minnesota waiting this out, saying like, we're the only team that's going to be willing to make this happen, and they're just not willing to pay what Detroit wants?
What about Vegas? I thought
Vegas is an interesting, but I think after the Anderson extension,
Yeah.
like they move on from Dorofeyev, give all that money to Anderson. They need to move out another substantial piece.
I think Minnie's going to try and get Jack Hughes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, there you go. The
Calling
Hughes
it right
brothers
now.
want to play together all the time, and
Jack Hughes
controlling where they play. Just saying. I'll leave it at that.
There's a pattern there.
There's a pattern.
It definitely appears so. Over to the Major Leagues of Baseball. All-Star game is wrapped up. A little uneventful affair last night from Philadelphia, but the unofficial second half of the season gets going tomorrow night with just one game, and then full schedule returning on Friday. 12 teams currently occupy playoff spots across both the American and National Leagues. And there isn't that much separation at the bottom, but if we're trying to forecast and predict what our team's going to do ahead of the deadline, I think we're probably only going to see 3 different teams in these spots at season's end. So 9 of the 12 will remain the same once the regular season concludes in September.
Well, there's a lot to look at on the spot here, Duke.
The current, so
who are the 3 teams that you think are coming out?
So in the American League, the current division leaders are Tampa, Chicago, and Texas. The Yankees, Guardians, and Mariners occupy the wild card spots. Over in the National League, Dodgers, Brewers, Braves, and the Cubbies, Phillies, and Marlins are the wild card teams. So if I'm like just looking at it, I don't know if I'm a huge believer in the Texas Rangers. Their lead on the American League West is currently just 1 game, and that is also just 1 game up on the final wild card spot. So I'll take the Rangers to drop out in the American League, and ditto for the Guardians. I'll say same thing. I just think they don't have that much of a lead on the teams right behind them. And then in the NL, I think probably just Miami, who's currently wild card 3. So they're the easiest chopping block, just 1 game up on the Cardinals.
Well, the Jays are going to heat up here in the second half and get in. Obviously,
they're going to get one of these wild card spots that
naturally,
because Seattle will win the West. Rangers fall out of a spot, so there's a wild card spot opened up. And if the Guardians also slide out, then there's a second wild card spot opened up. So the Jays can, of course, fill one of those as they hit the second half stride.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, Duke. I haven't watched enough baseball besides the Jays to make this call, so I'll just go in with you.
All right, I love the belief.
As a casual D-backs fan, I want to re-emphasize that.
You even wore your D-backs hat.
I got some D-backs lids from back in the day.
Great time at the ballpark.
Great
Chase
ballpark.
Field. Exactly. No air conditioning there right now. But it'll be fixed next year, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're close to the roof.
Yeah. I'll go out. I'll go off of what JP Hornstra said on Monday, where he said that a lot of teams think they're contenders still, that they could get into the mix, and maybe that creates some chaos if there's more buyers than sellers at the deadline. And like Schlemmer was alluding to, maybe the Jays get hot and then they muscle their way back in and refine their form. So
one can hope.
Yeah, I'll go out and just say maybe we get some chaos down the stretch in baseball.
I'd like to see the Pirates get in the final NL spot because I want to see Paul Skeens pitch in games that matter. that much more.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, for an owner that doesn't seem to care about winning, good to see the Pirates there.
Hanging around
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
It is always almost refreshing. You can say the same thing about the White Sox too, because we know how reviled Jerry is in Chicago.
Oh,
and so the White Sox are almost, and they're a young, exciting team. They've exceeded all expectations, but they almost like win in spite of their ownership or whoever's running the team and say, you don't want to spend like it's
Major league.
It's 100%. It's very major league-esque, right? Like, F you, we're going to win anyway, even if you don't want to spend any money. But then the problem is then that justifies those owners saying, see, look, we can win without spending any money.
So counterproductive.
It's such a catch-22.
Yeah, John Fisher with the Athletics too. A wonderful owner.
Very
say
good.
that totally in spite.
Very, very good. The Open Championship getting underway at Royal Birkdale tomorrow morning for the final major of golf's 2026 season. My pick, my selection, going off at currently plus 3,100 to win it all over at Bet365. I think Chris Gotterup is the sharpest play on the board.
Sharpest play on the board. You like Gotterup, eh?
I do.
I don't know. I don't love him at the Open. I think he's very steep. I don't know if he can play like a lot of those low kind of carving shots, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Like, I don't know if any of you guys probably weren't watching golf last weekend, but they were showing like his setup and his feet and where like his target is. And it is so different from like any other, any other golfer on tour. It's all just kind of feel. So I could be 100% wrong on that. Maybe he's just got great feel out there.
His season, so he's won a couple times already this year, going back to the Sony Open to kick things off. He won a playoff at the Waste Management, and then he won the John Deere Classic a few weeks ago as well. Finished T11 at the Scottish Open last weekend. So there's a little bit precedent, but before winning it at the John Deere Classic, he had a bit of a rough go, including at the U.S. Open where he was T43. So he's kind of been a name that's been bouncing around this season. T24 at the Masters, T10 at the PGA Championship. I'm kind of like outside choice. I think this is where I'll be landing. But the benefit here, Schlemmer, is
good odds.
You get to make the first selection in the.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you're the loser.
Oh, lovely.
You lost. You treated us to a beautiful buffet lunch at the castle.
Goddamn Cam Smith.
What? No, I asked. So Josh was just saying that he thought Tom would get to pick first. I asked Carius at the event last night what he thought. He's like, no, Tom picks last.
Yeah, thanks, KK.
Which when we logic it out, it makes sense because he has the whole field to pick from, right? We can't pick golfers that we've already
good ones.
We
That's
can't
fair,
select other guys, so he will get a much larger field to choose from. I think it's understandable and decently fair that he goes last. So, and I was mentioning a group chat, giving the guys that aren't here, aka Kevin and Eddie, who I think are golfing right now. Sean's pretends he's working somewhere about, when we're going to start to break this down and make our picks. Sean just tried calling me in the middle of the segment, like as if I'm not on live radio. Like,
no,
this guy's worked in the radio business his entire life, and he just calls me in the middle of a segment.
He's excited.
This is insane. So if Schlemmer, if you like my pick,
I was going to save it because I didn't realize I was picking first, but my pick will be Tommy Fleetwood. I think it's his time.
Okay.
Nice. I don't nerd out for the PGA. I love playing golf, but I don't nerd out for the PGA. So I'll just go with in.
You like it?
Sure.
So I'll make Goddard my pick because I get to pick second. After losing the first at the Masters, I have just really bounced around, not finishing last. Essentially,
that's all you got to do.
Well, that's exactly it. There's only one loser. There's no winner, despite what Kevin and Sean might try and tell you. So after I pick Goddard up, Eddie is up. We'll get these picks kind of flowing throughout the rest of the show and hopefully have a full list of selections by the time we wrap in another hour's time. So to wrap it up, today is National Hot Dog Day. Mentioned to you earlier, Tom, we saved it to break down how Tom likes his dogs dressed when it comes to condiments, not toppings, just condiments. So liquids that you're, squirting out of a bottle onto your hot dog. There's nothing wrong with ketchup. Some people condemn it. I think it's fine. But among the available options that are at most places, and certainly in your own fridge, I think it's probably at best fourth on the power rankings of condiments to line up on the side of your bun.
That's a little harsh.
I just there's better things to put on there.
I mean, I might be a 7-year-old kid at heart, but I'm still just a mustard ketchup on the hot dog guy.
I respect that.
Classic.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So I would go in fourth best in, because I like with cheese sauce if it's available, depending on the course you're at. I always get the dog at the turn.
Yeah. Have to.
Or a chipotle.
Okay, yeah. Like a little chipotle sauce on there. That'd be great. Not always available.
That is true. Honey mustard can be sneaky good. You gotta be careful with that though.
Like a honey mustard or like a Dijon, like a spicy hot mustard rather than just your standard yellow. But I'll put those all in the same category, still just mustard in some capacity. So I do think mustard is better than ketchup on a hot dog. And I don't really like mustard that much.
Yeah.
But that's there. This is one that I've stumbled upon very recently. Like last summer is the first time I'd ever tried it. The mayo on a hot dog.
Like straight up mayo?
Yeah. So just by itself is not great. But the key is another thing that I would prefer over the ketchup is like hot sauce. So you make almost like a spicy mayo down the side just by putting 2 strips or 1 strip of each one. And then honestly, number 1 for me, barbecue sauce. Okay. I like the barbecue sauce of the sauce. So I would line them up in order: barbecue sauce, hot sauce, mayo, and then ketchup.
I don't know if that would be popular opinion, but I respect it.
It's like I said, it's a food thing. That's how
I love
like
hot dogs. So
and I really like to dress them up.
They're great.
Dress them up with toppings too. Like I like pickles on there. I like the banana peppers, onions. Maybe I'm not a sauerkraut guy, so I'll be steering clear of that. But I'm a big believer in loading it up and like dressing the dog to the nines.
You like a Chicago dog?
Big time. Big fan of a Chicago style dog.
Onions on there and some banana peppers too.
Yeah, very good.
Chef's kiss. People are fired up about the glizzies.
Real quickly.
Yeah, Brad, mustard only or mustard and onion? Full stop. Dallas the Farmer. Boys, you need ketchup, mustard, relish, cheese whiz, and fried onions on the hot dog. Bird says mayoracha. So I'm guessing sriracha mayo. And then Ryan says horseradish on a hot dog is fantastic. And then Brad is going to Costco for lunch for the hot dog. That was In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. We need to step out for a quick sports update with Brando, brought to you by All Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That is All Star Construction.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it, breaking news out of the NHL this morning. The Detroit Red Wings announcing a change at the top of their management crew, with Steve Yzerman being promoted to senior advisor to the team's governor and CEO, Chris Ilitch, which opens up a search for a new head of hockey operations at the GM and POHO spots. Both internal and external candidates are going to be considered. Anthony Mantha, most recent free agent, to find himself a new landing spot as he signs a New Jersey 2-year deal at a $4.75 million cap hit AAV. Mantha, 33 goals, 64 points in a bounce-back season with the Penguins last year. The NHL announcing its home openers for all 32 teams this morning as part of the new 84-game schedule for the upcoming campaign. The Oilers opening up on opening night, Tuesday, September 29th, taking on the Vancouver Canucks in the nightcap game. World Cup semifinal number 2 this afternoon. England taking on Argentina from Hotlanta in Georgia. 1 o'clock kickoff between the two historic sides. And WNBA action today. Trio of games, Storm and Sky already underway. Lynx host the Sparks and the Valkyries up against the Fever. Coming up in hour 4 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Zach Lang from the Nation Network, and we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station.
CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca. At GS Construction, people grow with the company. 50 years of experience doesn't live in a binder on a shelf. It lives in our people at every level, passed down on every site. Many of us started with a shovel in our hands and built whole careers here. The work is honest. The company's been around since 1974. So if it all sounds good to you and you want to grow with us, GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. No shovel required. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
here. 10:10. Good morning. Final hour of the Tom Gazzola Show here on Sports 1440. Of course, presented by Bet365. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta, here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Tom Gazzola, Dave Schlemko, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here. We'll have Zach Lang joining us from Daily Faceoff and Oilers Nation in about 10 minutes' time. Oddly enough, the hot dog conversation got the text line going again. And a lot of people sharing their opinion on the right combination of condiments.
A lot of combos out there.
Some good ones. You said that they're like glizzies are a staple at the Schlemko household.
Yeah, everyone likes a good dog, especially in the summer. You know, you can sit out on the deck, fire up the grill. It's a good time.
Grilled hot dogs are always fantastic.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not turning down a boilie. I'm not turning down one that's been sitting on a spit.
Don't discriminate.
Not at all. Patty and Spruce, like hot dog condiment, Heinz dill pickle ketchup.
I've never even heard of that.
That's a cross-mogenation I've never come across.
Sounds delicious, though.
Yeah. The Rig says, last Friday at our golf tournament, I discovered pickled ketchup. It has a slight dill pickle flavor in it. I was pleasantly surprised at the taste.
Wow. That sounds unreal, actually. You know what? I tried this ketchup from, it's closed now. It's closed in the park, that Loca Market.
Yeah.
It had like a ketchup, like it was like a homemade one with some like jalapeno in there. Oh, it was unreal.
Oh, that does sound good. Waddy and Cloverdale, dill, pickle, mayo, and Hefe's hot honey mustard. Hot honey mustard's becoming a thing.
That sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah. Guys, we're getting hungry here.
Yeah, I want a dog.
Who was it that was like, I'm going to Costco now? Brad? Yeah. No, I get it. And as someone who worked at Costco for a few years in the tire shop, if you didn't have lunch or didn't bring something, you know where you went? Right to the cafeteria.
Well, yeah, what, like $2?
Yeah, $1. might be $2 now, but you get the dog and like a pop or a bottle of water, whatever you want. Great combo.
Super cheap.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. How are we doing in our picks right now for this?
We're waiting on Eddie. Once again, like him and Kevin are golfing.
Yeah.
They know that I told Kevin what time we were doing this. It should like
he's not on the clock anymore.
So I was talking to KK last night because I asked him about the home run derby the night previous because he's such a big Yankees fan. And the Ben Rice for the Yankees, who I thought had a pretty good chance to win it, actually. He was terrible. So I said, Kev, did you not what'd you think of your boy's performance out there? He's like, I have watched so little of any sport for the past month or what are we going on 3 weeks here now?
I bet.
And because I thought he was at the Elks game last Thursday because he had texted me asking what I thought the attendance was from the vantage point up in the press box. He's like, no, I wasn't there. I was just he said he texted a bunch of different people, like surveyed people that he knew were there and kind of formed his answer based on the answers from everyone else. Good thing he didn't ask Declan. I asked Declan in the press box. He said I was like, oh, there's probably 18,000 people here.
Definitely not.
I'm like, Declan, are you blind? they didn't even announce that many, like for the team's idea of how many people were there. They said 14.
What would you guess?
I said 10.
10?
Yeah.
I was more optimistic. I thought it was more closer to 14, but
well, I saw you almost get run over on the sidelines.
Tom couldn't count. His head was still spinning.
I think you made the top 10 a few days ago.
Did I actually?
Top 10 slammer, forget it. Monday morning, we're watching it here in the studio, or it was even Friday morning. And you know what used to be like the highlight of the night on SportsCenter? Now I think they just call it the best. It was Tom dodging him on the side.
Okay, maybe that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Was that like the end of SportsCenter?
They showed it 100 times on SportsCenter that morning, and it was hilarious.
I know Jay Onright enough to say hi, how you doing? You know, everything's all right. But I think someone said that was like, oh, Tom's making his debut on the show. And I was like, wow, what a way to start my presence on his show if I ever have one again. But no, I will be much more cautious this weekend.
I mean, at least he didn't get buried.
No, and
that would have hurt, man.
Flying and they're jacked. And I know Cordell, like they aren't the tallest guys. Neither am I, but I'm taller than Justin Hardy, taller than Cordell. But those guys are running 1,000,000 miles an hour, and they're little freight trains.
They're moving. You might have been in the quiet room.
There would have been a broken bone. Yeah, quiet room, broken bone. We're going to try to avoid that at all costs this week. Thank you for bringing that up, Dave.
So is that a regular thing?
Getting hit by players?
No, like the sidelines. You're doing all the Elks games?
All the Elks games, and then I do get some Stampeders games. Cool. I have one Stamps game next week or next month, and we only have our schedule up until week 15. World Cup is like taking up a lot of the capacity of TSN, and they're going to dictate the schedule after the World Cup and what comes of it. So hopefully I like doing the games in Calgary that don't have the Elks involved, just because it's two teams completely neutral, right?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. One of the first games I walked out of the tunnel with the TSN mic, and this guy just screams at me, Orlesky's better. We want Orlesky. And I just looked up at him. I'm like, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I would too.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm like, I get it. You're not hurting my feelings. I totally understand. We're going to get to Zach Legg right away. A couple more texts here. This is just a quick segment. I feel bad for Greater Man Jay, and here's why. He texts in and says, you guys are killing me. I left my lunch at home. 12-hour shift today. Another 6 hours to go. I'll be thinking of hot dogs for the next 6 hours. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, brother.
What about your teammates? Maybe somebody picks you up, brings you something. You know? That could happen. Depends where you are. Well, he's on a grader.
Somebody might be able to drop you.
So.
Quick foot long.
Billy says the great hot dog starts with the dog itself, but the capper is the bun. Remember?
That is important.
Yeah.
No one's mentioned that yet.
Great bun makes the dog, says Billy. Cameron says mustard covered pretzels. Is that what goes along with the dog? Perhaps. JB and a loader. Oh, good to hear from JB and a loader. And then we'll get to Andreas has some pick recommendations for our draft. Yeah, this is
Like it.
yeah. And then, there's a few people. We're gonna have to ask Zach Lang some of these questions. I like it. A lot of good variety of texts and questions coming in via the text line 1-833-401-1440. That was a quick segment. The hot dog conversation continued on. Oh man, I feel for you. I feel for you, Greater Man Jay. Hopefully somebody brings you a snack or something to keep you going. If it makes you feel any better, I usually have like a Cliff Bar in the morning. I picked some up yesterday. I left it at home, so I've just been drinking coffee.
You're hungry too.
I'm a hungry boy. Maybe I'll stop at Costco as well. I don't know. All right, we're going to get to Zach Lang from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff right after this here on Sports 1440.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is switching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
At Cougar Paint and Collision, caring family touches go the extra mile.
I remember specifically there was a pretty old lady near the end of her driving career, and she came in and she was just distraught. She sat down, and within 5 minutes, she had a cup of coffee. She had a donut. A lot of shops don't offer things like that. You know, we realize how traumatic a vehicle accident can be. The little family touches like an animal or a coffee or a donut, they really go the distance.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
Kickoff is coming July 17th. Elks, Lions at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Dog Days of Summer presented by ATCO Energy. Bring your pup and watch the game in an exclusive section. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is switching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
We continue on here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Tom, Dave, Brandon, and Josh with you. Of course, keep those texts coming in, 1-833-401-1440. Get to some Oiler talk. What's a day on a station in Edmonton without some Oiler talk, obviously? Even though it's July 15th, there's stuff to chew on, and some texts have come in, and we'll pass those along to Zach Lang from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. He joins us over the phone. And good morning, Zach. How are you? Haven't chatted with you in a little while, but this is good to do this. What's going on? How you been?
Yeah, good morning, Tom. I'm doing good. I was just telling Brandon I'm looking forward to the hit. The first one with you on your new show. It's great to have you a part of the 1440 team, man.
Hey, it's been awesome. The team is excellent, and I think it's been a very, very smooth transition. And obviously, there's so much going on that the conversation is always on the up. So let's dive into it. And I'm going to go right into the text line because, Zach, when I read this from Mark, I was like, all right, I'm going to ask Zach and get his thoughts on this because Keith Gretzky's name does get thrown around from time to time. I think people are on the up and up with him, speaking of that. So Mark says, hey, guys, is the obvious choice to replace Steve Yzerman in Detroit Keith Gretzky? I'll just pass that off to you, Zach.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, talk about a guy who's probably knocking at an opportunity somewhere in the NHL once again. In the same breath, like I love what he's done with the Condors over the years here. What has it been, like 6 or 7 years now that he's been down in Bakersfield running the team? And they've had some really good stretches over these last couple of years here. We've seen some of the prospects that have come up in the Oilers system alone that have kind of stepped into the Oilers lineup and been contributors in different ways. So, I could see him maybe making some sense for Detroit. But what weird timing to do this for the Red Wings too, right?
Yes.
Like the middle of July, 3 weeks after the draft, 2 weeks after free agency. Like what's going on in Detroit that is causing them to make this change now of all times?
Well, let's ask Schlemmer because he was a part of different organizations. If that happens in the middle of the summer, what would someone in your experience or with your experience think?
Well, I'm with you guys. I'm surprised that this happened now. Like you said, you had time to do it before the draft, so whoever you're going to bring in can kind of put his initial stamp on the team, right? Maybe sign a couple free agents. So for me, this shows that, they've gotten together, all the upper management, and decided that, like, shit, we're in trouble here. And we got to do something, and we got to do something fast. And, we're about to lose our captain here. I think they're still in a pretty good position, like Duke mentioned, like covered decently full of prospects. They got, they got Sider on the back end. I still do think they have some good pieces, but I think they're trying not to let this thing run out of control right now.
Yeah. I mean, you want to contain it as best as possible. A name I threw out there, just kind of off the cuff, Zach, was Sean Horkoff as like an under the radar pick. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that. I could see that. I mean, he's been working away at the Red Wings organization there for a number of years. I think he's definitely a guy who could step into that role for sure. I'd be really interested to see if they make that happen.
Bummer.
Yeah, same. Like I mentioned to you, I think it was during the break, but I spoke with Sean Horkoff when I first retired. He was getting into the player development with the Red Wings, and I think he was moving up to player personnel. It sounded like something he really loved doing. So yeah, sounds like he's moved his way up over the last 4 or 5 years here, and he's a great teammate, a great leader. So obviously, I do think he'd do a great job as well.
Let's see which names emerge. Zach Lang with us from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. Hey, some talk about the Colton Dach signing, and then obviously you get into the conversation, the look ahead, and the Oilers lineup. I know we have 2 months to go before guys start showing up for train. Well, they'll start showing up a little bit earlier, but training camp gets going about in 2 months' time. What do you think of the Oilers roster right now? Do you think they need to continue to look to add, or do you think they can keep their quote-unquote powder dry for the time being?
Well, for one, I really like the Colton Dach signing. I think getting 2 years on him is solid work from the Oilers. I really liked his game last year after they picked him up from Chicago. A big physical guy. And I think the Oilers really needed some more of that down in the bottom six. Puckpedia has got the Oilers at about $4.7 million in cap space. I don't mind the idea of kind of just sitting on that and holding on that a little bit here. They're going to be able to accrue cap space this year, which I think is really interesting, given the fact that they haven't been able to really effectively do that over the last number of years here. I like the way that the roster is kind of shaping up right now. I think you've got a lot of competition within that bottom six right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Josh Szymanski, Colton Dach, Isaac Howard, Matthew Joseph, Max Jones, Matthias Janmark, Connor Clattenburg. It's really an interesting group down there. I think right now I wouldn't be surprised to kind of see Savoy up on that top line. With McDavid and Hyman, Podkolzin and Draisaitl, probably Kapanen on that right wing spot. Although I think that's probably a spot that they'll look to upgrade at some point, in the near future here. You got a third line. I think you see Nuge with Dickinson down there, and then who slides in on that other spot. I've kind of been advocating for Howard. I think he'd be a really interesting guy there. He could learn the defensive side from two veteran guys in Nuge and Dickinson, who've been really effective defensive players over the years, but maybe be able to provide a little bit of offensive pop down there on that third line as well. I mean, winning the goal battle is going to be important for that line, but the Oilers need depth offense too. So I'd be curious to see what happens with Howard there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Howard will definitely get an opportunity. He's just got to take advantage of it this year. Zach, I wanted to know what you make of the Shea deal on the back end. Like, personally, I'm a little wary. I think it could go either way, but I mean, the kid's only played 150 games. If his game continues to go in the right direction, it's probably a great value deal at 5 years. But I think there's also the risk of this being like a Graves deal on the back end where, he had a good year, but we don't really know what we have. So I don't know. What do you make of it?
Yeah, when I saw the deal initially, I was a little weary of it myself. A guy who's kind of been a relatively unknown player over the years, really only has one breakout season, under his belt. And then all of a sudden, he's kind of getting a big deal here. I think the one thing that makes me feel good about this deal is when you kind of just look around at some of the other free agents that signed for a similar price point. No disrespect to Vincent Desharnais. Loved Vincent Desharnais as an Edmonton Oiler. He got 4 years at $4.2 million.
Yeah, that's wild.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk at $4 million. Mario Ferraro at $4 million. Ian Cole at $4 million. Is Ryan Shea worse than any of these guys? I don't think so. And the truth of the matter is, I think the Oilers did a good job with the contract structure of this too. He's got a $1.5 million signing bonus in the first year and no signing bonuses through the remainder of the contract. That kind of gives them a bit of an out clause if they want to use a buyout in the future if things go awry after the first, year or two of this contract.
Yeah, fair.
I think I'm okay with it just because when you look at the market and see what some of these other guys signed for, I kind of shake my head at some of these deals. I mean, even Trouba, I like Jacob Trouba, don't get me wrong, but $8.2 million for him is a pretty penny.
Yeah.
It's a steep price for him where he is at in his career right now. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a weird one maybe, but I'm fine with it. I'm interested to see what Ryan Shea can do here.
I'll put this to both of you. And Schlemmer, you bring up Ryan Shea, and he was drafted, I think, in 2015 or 2016. He's 29 years old. Definitely a late bloomer, but with less than 200 NHL games under his belt, I think naturally the weariness would come with that, right?
Yeah.
What's your perception of a guy that is now just, being recognized as a guy that you can sign to somewhat significant money? And then Zach, follow that up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a soft spot for the guy, obviously, because that's what I was, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was undrafted, had to work my way into the league, and didn't really get that multi-year deal until I was 28 or 29, probably same kind of thing. Money was about the same, I guess, for those dollars compared to these. So, I mean, I think it's a little risky, but I do think it could have the potential to be a great deal, right?
Okay.
Like if this guy's a puck mover that can play 22 minutes and put up, 40 points consistently, that's great at $4 million. But I mean, right now they got like 9 guys that could be in their lineup. What if this guy struggles off the start? He's not even good enough to be in your lineup.
Well, there's a guy that they have that's buried in the minors that basically is in that scenario named Josh Brown. So just a gentle nudge and reminder of that. But
that's a few million less to bury, though.
Yeah, that's true. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting when you look at the blue line as a whole here, because you've got 8 guys on one-way contracts, right? And who are all needing waivers to get down to the American Hockey League. I think the one thing that's kind of intriguing with Shea is he doesn't really have a ton of tread on his tires. And this was something we kind of talked about when Jake Wallman came to town a couple of years ago as well, right?
Yeah.
Here's a guy who went the college route, has kind of grinded through the AHL a little bit, just getting his feet wet into the NHL here, and kind of has one breakout year, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's see what this guy can kind of do, right? And I'm really intrigued by it. Like, I'm fascinated to see what happens here. I like Shea's game. Obviously, he had a solid offensive season last year. He may not put up those same totals. He may put up those same totals, but by all accounts, an effective puck-moving defenseman, and that really opens up some things for this Oilers blue line as well.
I want to talk about Matt Savoy a little bit. Now, here's a local kid who I feel like has done everything right. He was a high first-round pick, but wasn't in the league initially. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but had his year in the minors in Baco, learned the game really well. Whoever's coaching him there has learned to play away from the puck. Made the team out of camp last year. Started off playing pretty conservatively, just trying to do the right things, play responsibly. And as the season goes on, he gets some more opportunity and he takes advantage of it. So I guess my question is, what are some realistic expectations for Savvy this year?
Man, great question. I'm a huge fan of Matt Savoy's game and where it's at right now. It was really a bit of a tale of 2 seasons last year for him, right? First 58 games of the year, he's playing like under 14 minutes a night. He's got 9 goals and 18 points. And down the stretch run of the season, after that Olympic break there, he was absolutely tremendous. Bumped up, played 63% of his 5-on-5 ice time with McDavid on that top line. 9 goals and 14 points in 24 games played. I wrote on OilersNation.com a couple of days ago that I'd be looking to sign him to a long-term extension right now. You look at what the Carolina Hurricanes did with Logan Stankoven and Jackson Blake. Yeah. And Savoy's production in his rookie season was very similar to that of Blake, who really exploded in the second year here of his, his NHL career and the first year of his 8-year extension. The Hurricanes are going to have both those guys locked up for like $11 million for the next 8 years. That's crazy. Crazy good. I think I would be trying to do the same thing with Savoy here. Try and find a deal, from an Oilers perspective in the $5.5 million range, around there. Sign him for 7-8 years here. Maybe you can sneak it in before that 8-year limit hits on September 15th. But I really like his game. I've got, decently high expectations for him because I do have him penciled in there on that top line with McDavid next season. So, I'd be looking for an offensive breakout, even more so from him this year. And I'm really excited to see where his game goes because he really, really impressed me down the stretch last year.
On Savoy, one thing that I was encouraged by last season, his first full year in the NHL, is like it got, like you outlined, progressively better. And it's stronger as the competition got better as well. Playoffs, tough go, obviously, but he was among a few people that struggled in the postseason. I kind of like that way he's tracking rather than explode in his first year offensively. And then, so you go from, wow, this guy's awesome already to we expect him to be 4 times better next year. And it's like, that's unrealistic. I think it feels like it's just building in the right way.
The thing I love about Savvy is even if the offense isn't there, he plays the right way. Like he competes so hard. He's so hard on loose pucks and puck battles. And it's important. It's integral when you're that size.
Yeah. Zach, to follow this up too, and I want to hear from Schlemmer on this, but I'm going to go to text. It's Cam and Otwell. And this is a guy that we kind of touched on Ike Howard a little bit, but he's a year behind, let's call it, Matt Savoy. had a strong year down in Bakersfield. Tougher go when he was up here with the big club. Obviously, there's an adjustment period when you go from NCAA hockey to the National Hockey League. We've known that. It's well documented. So Cameron Otwell says, personally, I would like to see Howard given some games on Draisaitl's wing. How would you respond to that, Zach?
I also would love to see that, but I'm just not sure it's going to be happening early on in the season. I mean, I think, the expectations for me from Isaac Howard next season are to have a year similar to Matt Savoy. If he can come in and, play effectively in the bottom six away from the puck, that's going to open up the opportunity for him to slide up the lineup potentially later on in the season. I'm still high on him as a prospect. I really liked what he did last year in Bakersfield with the opportunities that he had. 24 goals, 50 points in 47 games played down there. He was really kind of playing in a lot of different situations there and was really thriving. And it's interesting too, because, the whole talk when he was arriving in Edmonton out of Tampa Bay was that he wanted to play in the NHL and Tampa wasn't quite ready to give him a shot. Mm-hmm. He comes to Edmonton, gets his feet wet in the NHL. Him and the team realizes, hey, you're not quite ready for this kid, and, gets most of the season down in Bakersfield. So, if he can have a Matt Savoy-esque year where, he can chip in 35 points over the course of a full season for the Oilers, I think that would be a really successful year. And I know that there's, been a lot of chatter online about, him being a trade option. And I think the only reason that is the case is because he's probably a valuable trade asset from the Edmonton Oilers perspective right now, right? He's a still young up and coming player, but evidently I don't really think the team is too keen to move on from him because, maybe Matt Savoy and Isaac Howard could become the Oilers, Logan Stankoven and Jackson Blake and provide some offense from some depth pieces on the roster.
Maybe. I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. Okay. Maybe the Oilers fans may not love this, but personally, I don't love Isaac Howard's game. I don't think he does anything elite except for his shot, which I think he gets to use a lot more in the American League or like somewhere like Europe. I do think like he'd be like a very elite dominant player. But for me, watching him away from the puck, I don't think he plays very well away from the puck. I don't think he's like super focused and committed, shift in and shift out. There's a lot of up and down. I'm not completely sold on the guy. Personally, I would be looking to move him while he still has a lot of value. Because if he doesn't make the team or have success this year, that value's gone, essentially.
And you're not the only one that I think is of that mind and has said that before too. So I don't think you're out to lunch or coming from left field on that one. Zach, how would you respond to that? You think it's fair?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, I can admit that I didn't love Howard's game either last year. I think he's a guy who's still got a lot of room to grow, right? And I think the one thing playing on his, and I think the one thing that kind of is, playing to his factors, he's only 22 years old still, right? So he's probably got another 2-3 years at least in North America to kind of prove his worth. I know our prospect guy, Spencer Promoting at Oilers Nation, was pretty high on him this last season, watching a lot of his games down in Bakersfield. Going to need a bit of a transition period kind of getting into the NHL, he thinks, but I'll be curious to see what happens here because his shot is his greatest asset. And at the end of the day, like the Oilers need that. They need a guy who can be another, more or less kind of pure scorer in that sense beyond Leon Draisaitl. Exactly. Right. So we'll see what happens with him.
All right. We're going to end this conversation with a topic that has gotten a lot of texts. And now I'm seeing images coming in from people having an early lunch, Norman Combine and Sticky Rice sending hot dog pictures to the text line. What's on your dog, Zach, if you're having a pork missile?
Oh, boy. Give me a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of ketchup, and a slice of cheese. That's my go-to.
Ooh, all right.
The cheese slice. Sneaky good. Good stuff. Zach, great to catch up with you. Wonderful. I look forward to doing this again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
There you go. Zach Lang, Oilers Nation, and Daily Face-Off. Yeah, a lot of hot. As ridiculous as that sounds, we're getting pictures now. So
that's
shout
great.
out to Norman at Combine and Sticky Rice.
Love it.
Yeah, people are saying, get Greater Man Jay a hot dog. Somebody help this guy out. And then Greater Man Jay, oddly enough, to tie this all into a nice little package, says, I think Howard is a jailbreak artist. Babcock, not going to like it.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting point. We haven't really talked about that. What Babs is going to think of certain guys.
Oh, we have so much time to talk about that. And I think we will have to talk about that.
Yep.
Right now, we got to take a quick breather. Cam and Eggs coming up in our final segment. More here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365 with Schlemmer, Brandon, and Fenny, right here on Sports 1440.
Okay, new strategy. We'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Hi, Edmonton. The legend has been reimagined. Check out the all-new 2026 Subaru Outback. With Subaru's legendary symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, impressive cargo versatility, advanced safety technology, and an IIHS top safety pick award or higher for 17 consecutive years, the Outback delivers confidence wherever adventure takes you. Whether it's the daily drive, the mountain getaway, or anything in between, the all-new Outback is built for the journey. Test drive it today at your local Subaru dealer. Welcome to Uncommon.
No. Canada is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Amazing song. Amazing song. Great movie, too, if you caught it, Bohemian Rhapsody. Obviously, the song is Another One Bites the Dust. The movie was called Bohemian. It's basically a Freddie Mercury Queen documentary.
Doc.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, actually.
It's awesome. What's his name? Who's the...
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek is phenomenal. I remember him.
So it's like Kevin
Pacific.
Terrace's favorite musical biopic.
It's great.
Oh,
And
yeah?
the one about Motley Crue, you heard Motley Crue earlier coming out of break. That one's pretty good too. I think that's The Dirt.
Yeah, I've
is the
seen
name of
that
it.
one.
That
The
one-
book's even better. Like
I need to read the
The book, The Dirt, is unbelievable. Some good stories in there.
You got a guy in your band who's died back to life. Like, that's something, man. A guy that had a great time last night at Kevin Karius's kind of retirement party, send off going away, was Cam Tate, and he managed to scrape a Cam and eggs together for us. All right, let's go, Brando.
Steve Yzerman has resigned as general manager of the Detroit Red Wings. Mark the verb, if you would. Resigned. Not fired, not turfed, not marched with cold efficiency to the door. Resigned. There is a whole quiet philosophy folded into that word. The dignity of a man who, feeling the axe somewhere in the air behind him, chose instead to lay his own neck gently on the block before anyone else could do it for him. And what a neck to lay down. This is a man who did not merely wear the red and white. He was woven into it, thread by thread, for 22 years. Captain for 20 of them, longer than any man in the history of the game. A fixed point around which lesser seasons revolved, the way a lighthouse stands still while the water does all the moving. 3 Stanley Cups lifted in his own 2 hands while the ice was still cold beneath his skates. 97, 98, 02. Each one a small, hard, glittering proof that the boy from Nepean had become something closer to weather than to man. But the front office is a colder country than the rink, governed by different gods, and they are not sentimental gods. Since 2019, that desk was his, and for 10 winters running, April has arrived in Detroit without a single spring trailing behind it. No playoffs, no parade, only the winged wheel on the sweater, magnificent and grounded, a bird that has forgotten how to fly. So, did he leave of his own will? Perhaps, but the longer one sits with it, the more one suspects a hand at his elbow, guiding him upstairs with the tenderness reserved for men we still love but can no longer trust with the wheel. The odds of that, I'd venture, are not small. And perhaps this is the whole of the lesson, that greatness, once truly earned, is never repossessed, only, on occasion, quietly relocated to a higher, quieter floor, whether he still deserves the room he's leaving or not. Cam and Eggs, Sports 14, 40.
On the Steve Yzerman situation in Detroit, if you missed it earlier, Yzerman is failing up, as we sometimes say.
The Yzer plan is over, baby.
Well, it sucked.
It did kind of suck.
Yeah. There were some elements you're like, okay, they've got something going, and it just nothing. Like even Todd McClellan was losing his mind on the team last year.
You got to feel like the success that he built in Tampa must have extended his time in Detroit a little bit, you know? Like, well, look what he built in Tampa. Like, we can be patient. It just never materialized.
No. Multiple coaches, obviously a slew of different players. It felt like they would sign like 6 new goalies every offseason.
Yeah.
It just bizarre in some ways, you know?
And you know, that Larkin thing, I think they wanted to just get that out. Get it out of the media, stop people from talking about it, right? I mean, I used to sit on the plane with Jonathan Drouin in Montreal.
Yep.
And so he went through his own contract dispute there with Stevie Y in Tampa, right? And was telling me like a lot of the stories and details of the back and forth. So when this came out with Larkin, I was like, Larkin's not going anywhere, man. Or like not until Stevie Y has the deal in place that he wants, right? He's going to do it on his time.
He seems very steadfast in his ways.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Okay. Like, yeah, Steve Yzerman seems cutthroat at times.
Doesn't seem like a guy I'd want to mess with.
No, he's always quiet. The quiet ones are the killers.
Yeah, the silent killers.
Yeah. Exactly. Schlummer, Billy, waxing poetic about his appreciation for you, says, I listen to Schlummer because he has made dead-on predictions and assessments. His latest was on Daxon Rudolph.
Well, thanks, Billy. You're the man. Appreciate you.
Jay and Victoria agreed on the Howard take as well. So it's not just one.
It's not just me, eh? All right.
Multiple. Update on Greater Man Jay. He found an apple in his backpack. Hopefully it's fresh.
Well, hopefully that tides you over, bud.
Yep. And then we have an update on the draft.
Yeah, Eddie Steele has made his selection for our golf pool for the Castle. He's going with the chalk, Scotty Scheffler.
Way to go out on a limb, Eddie.
Wow.
Odds on favor. Well, listen, last time Josh took Scheffler at the U.S. Open. You took him at the PGA, and Kevin took him at the Masters. So,
pretty
popular
pick.
It's pretty understandable that the number one player in the world goes off the board at some point. Yep. Eddie, one of only a couple names in our little collection left that's eligible to pick him. May as well go ahead and do it. And was you guys were just talking during the break that you kind of he's the odds on favorite, but you kind of like it because he misses the cut last week for the first time in forever. It seems like a pretty good bounce back potential for the world's best.
I agree.
Fenny, you want to dive in on anything? It's been quiet. Oh, Fenny's good, he says.
Who's up next?
He had too many buckskins last night. He's
right.
KK's on the clock. I sent him a message. There's a good chance we will not get a response.
No, he's retired now. He's he's not getting back.
I wonder if this number even actually connects to a phone anymore.
Oh my goodness.
He's just swinging them.
You should have seen him last
Living
night.
his best life.
Schlemmer. He was just in his element there with all of his mates and all of his old cohorts from running this town. Everything from guys that ran the bars he would frequent to all the people that cover the Oilers and the Eskimos and all this stuff for so many years. He was just loving it.
He's in his element.
He was in his element, just schmoozing away that just god awful shirt he was wearing.
Storytelling.
Yeah,
they're good stories.
Same stories, same jokes, same punchlines. They're all classic.
I love it.
A couple texts and then some final thoughts as we wind things down. Husk says, check out the Red Hot Chili Peppers documentary. It's a great watch. I would like to watch that one.
I've seen that on Netflix,
Is
right?
it good?
No, I haven't watched it.
Oh,
but
you thought ready to go kind of thing. I'll check it out. And then Dean Huckersey in jest says, no way, the book is better than the movie. Thanks for blowing my mind with that one, Schlemmer. The book is always better than the movie. Always.
Fair enough.
Except for Band of Brothers, which was based off of Stephen Ambrose book. And then I think one other one, Band of Brothers, my favorite of all time. Just
good flex. Haven't read the book.
Yeah, I would just go with the documentary or the 10-piece or 10-part series. Hey, this was fun. This was a fun time.
I thought we killed it.
So do I. I look forward to next Wednesday. You know what? Let's pat ourselves on the back, Dave. Let's pat ourselves in the back. It flew by. It was a fun Wednesday show. Big thank you to all of our guests. You're back next week, right?
You bet, buddy.
Damn right. It's David Schlemko. Good stuff. Our co-host on Wednesdays. And big thank you to everybody who tuned in. Lots of great texts, lots of good engagement. I love that. If you're just starting to get to know me and haven't listened before, love to hear from people that are listening and watching and incorporate it into the show. And I think we've done a good job of that. Thank you to all of our guests, like I said again, and the audience. Big thank you to the crew in the studio. For Dave, for Brandon, and for Fenny, I'm Tom saying thank you, thank you, thank you. We've got a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery on in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it earlier this morning, the Detroit Red Wings announced that Steve Yzerman, moving out of his role as general manager, would take on spot of senior advisor to the team's governor and CEO, Chris Ilitch. Team's going to search for a new head of hockey operations underway, both internal and external candidates being considered. Anthony Mantha landing in New Jersey, freshest name off the free agency market. 2-year deal, carrying a cap hit of $4.75 million. Mantha, in a bounce-back season last year, scored 33 goals, 64 points in 81 games with the Penguins. The NHL announcing all 32 clubs' home openers for the upcoming 84-game schedule for the 26-27 season. The Oilers Opening night, Tuesday, September 29th of the league will take on the Vancouver Canucks. World Cup semifinal number 2 goes this afternoon from Atlanta. England against Argentina kicking off at 1 o'clock. And in the WNBA, 3 games today, including the Storm and Sky already underway. 56-44 for Chicago at the half. Still to come, Sparks against the Lynx and the Fever hosting the Valkyries. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton.